Anything else, Nikki?
Oh.
Yep, just get it all out of the way.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. What is up? My name is Aaron Knoll. I am not Matty G. Unfortunately, he is not with us this week, but we are back with a normal, regular, just fucking around episode of After Dark. The last couple of weeks have been a little hit or miss. We had the week where no one showed up except for me, Nikki, and Devin, and Alan. We had a week off. Then we had the great show with both JTE and Barbarian here as guests. Then we had another week off last week, and now we are back. We have a whole full-size crew, and I'll go ahead and introduce them all one by one. I'll start with the one who spent the last minute playing sound bites over me, the Mandalorians, who feel more important than ever, Nikki and Devin. And Child.
And Child. And Random Dude.
Oh.
And you guys want to know something? Do you guys want to know what his name is?
What is it?
Yep. So here we are. I mean, John Cena's dad lives right over there, and we stole his kid. No, there was no kidnapping. Devin just knocked the flag over by leaning back like that. We're all good tonight. We're. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome.
Very overwhelmed here.
All right, let's get away from that nightmare scenario. We'll go ahead and move on. He is in the midst of running the Inner Geekdom tournament over on TMG Trivia, but he took some time to just chillax here. Kevin Poss.
I don't even know what's happening right now. But yeah. There it is. Yeah, so I'm here. And we're going to talk about some things. I just needed a little break from the Geek Tournament, but things are going well. We're moving into round 3. Everything's set for the quarterfinals. 8 more matches to go. And then we will have our champion, our very first champion. I'm very excited.
He means in terms of recording. We have not gotten that far in terms of uploads. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the person joining us tonight who isn't a regular, but he is part of the TMG crew, and he is here with us. Mr. Ryan Payne joins us tonight. How's it going, Ryan?
What's happening, guys? It's honestly, it's been good. I spent pretty much my entire day just sitting in, overloading on cold tea and beer. Now I've just watered myself down to seltzer, so I am good. Honestly, I need to talk. My mind has just been overloading me throughout the last week.
Speaking of beer, making his return to the show after a long, prolonged absence that is partially due to the fact that we have not been making consistent episodes, Mr. Matt Beer is here.
Yeah, it's been since, I think, October 17th was the last time I was on.
Makes sense, because I wasn't with you when you were here. So.
Yeah. Well, I had, Yep. I had a Halloween party on the 24th. Then I don't think we did anything Halloween.
Nope.
And then we had a Notre Dame Clemson the day JT was on, and wasn't gonna miss that game. And it was such an incredible game. And then I wasn't on last week, and now I'm back today. And Nikki may have a child, but I have the child right here. And guess what? It's not the authentic child.
Oh shit! I left mine next door.
My authentic child doesn't get here till January. But here's the thing, not authentic child. He can't make noises. Say hi.
Give me Froggy.
Oh, he blinks.
Oh, that's a
dank ferric.
Oh, this is even weirder than Nikki having a real kid in the room.
He just used the force to cause a car accident.
Please change the channel for
you. Mass genocide like you did a few episodes back. But yeah.
All right, and with that, we'll go ahead and move on to Dr. Spaceman, Mr. Alan Shepard. Please make this normal. Never mind.
Yeah, this is normal. Yes, this what I'll do. I'll just cutting up my dinner, and I like to use my little baby chainsaw because that's how I do things. That's the way.
Please tell me that goes with a Clark Kent doll.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? No, it goes.
Well, that's
with
how we cut his junk off.
It goes with my boy here, my boy Stripey here, because he gotta get the Mogwais. Get him.
That's Baby Yoda, but
Stripe.
evil.
This is Baby Yoda evil.
Stripe.
Baby Yoda went to the dark side. This is what he looked like. Get him. He gonna get them blue wafers. I want the blue wafers.
I'm terrified you're gonna get a
He was numbing on those blue wafers, right?
Can we talk about that shade of blue though? This was something that was in season 1
It's
of
the same
Mando.
shade as the blue milk. They made them out of the blue milk.
Why?
Exactly. They made him out the blue milk.
But it's
Blue
something with the
macaroons.
lighting. Like it's like I've never seen that color of blue before. It's like they were the krill, like in the
Your
first
name, your
season,
name.
and the
Yeah.
spotchka. Like it's everything.
Yes. But they gotta have
It's like a
repeating. It's a
turquoise.
poem. It's a poem.
It
Yeah.
rhymes.
It's a space opera.
It rhymes, yeah. I like to
to
think though that
You
every
can't
single
do-
time we see somebody drinking spotchka or have something with like that color in it, that it came from that planet that Mando saved in season 1.
Navarro.
Yeah.
Or
No,
no,
not
no,
Navarro.
no,
No, Spotchka land.
Yeah, the episode
Yeah,
four, yeah.
fifth war.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
The one with the
Raiders.
widow Sanctuary. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Ryan,
the one where-
Caramel
JV3
Mountain, of
says,
course.
Thank
I was
you,
gonna
Jake.
say I can only assume the follow-up "Take the Ride, Ladies" has to do with that comment.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. We have
It would just lead to an epicenter of dirty jokes.
Hey,
Hey,
what was
let-
the
let-
show?
real quick. I gotta settle an argument. Now, people have been talking about Die Hard being a Christmas movie for years. Is it not?
No.
Yes,
Gremlins-
Gremlins is a for sure
Gremlins is
Christmas
a damn
movie,
Christmas
bro.
movie. Don't even mess around. It is the ultimate
Yes.
Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas
It's not-
movie.
Die Hard is not a
You're-
Christmas movie, but
you're-
that is a Christmas movie
Gremlins
right
is
there.
a
No.
Christmas
Christmas
movie.
movie relies on Christmas or like Santa, things like that itself. You could take Christmas out of Die Hard and make it a Halloween party. make
It could be a birthday
party.
party. It could be a
Birthday
going
party.
away party,
And
a
it doesn't change
retirement
the
party.
movie.
You
Hold
also
on,
have
hold on.
Change the movie at all.
singing Christmas Carol. Singing Christmas Carol.
Okay, if we're gonna say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
I
Yeah,
would say so.
agreed.
I'm not
Like,
gonna
it's more of a Christmas
Negative.
movie than Die
Negative.
Hard.
Iron Man 3 is a New
Absolutely.
Year's Eve movie.
Yes.
New
No.
Year's Eve movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Everyone wants to know about the first time, but let's not forget the second Die Hard.
I've had the same argument so many times in the family.
We
It
have
is like-
run off Nikki and Devin. Only child is left.
Okay,
Only child is left. Nameless John Cena.
Baby Yoda, what do you think?
guys, we have time. No soundboard. Let's get to the topic before they get back.
That's true. Hit it, Aaron. Hit it, Aaron.
We do have some topics to kind of steer the show. One of them was directly pitched by Nikki, so we can wait till he's back for that. But
Damn it.
I don't watch the shows personally, but I know it's something a lot of you guys are invested in, so we can take a little bit of time to talk about it.
I can't
amid-
keep my mouth shut anymore. Gremlins is not a Christmas movie.
Okay,
Mm.
all right.
The
Amidst,
Mogwai is a Christmas present. For God's sake,
Yeah.
it is a Christmas film.
I mean, the Mogwai could
Amid-
be a symbolism of children not being able to.
Is Iron Man 3 a Christmas movie?
No, it's a New
More
Year's
of a
Eve
Chris-
movie. We've established that.
Right.
Where
Okay.
were you?
Die Hard. No.
The
It's not a
plot
New Year's
revolves
movie.
around Christmas. It's
you
going to
guys are
assassinate
getting
the president
the
on Christmas.
whole,
After a Christmas
just because
trip,
there's a
it's literally
Christmas tree in
destroying
the
all the
background.
you're not missing anything, JB3. You can take your time, buddy.
Confused. You're getting Christmas tree in the background confused with plot. The
Right.
main
Set
the main
at
character
Christmas.
is a
Set
is
at
a
Christmas.
Bunny
Christmas
Rabbit
It's
isn't
a
a plot
Christmas movie. Set at Christmas. All right, Aaron, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
We're there.
Sure. All right, let me try this one again. It's not something that I watch, but I know it's something a couple of the guys here watch, so we can take a little bit of time to talk about it. Amidst the CW making a couple of big changes to its lineup recently, obviously Supernatural just recently ended. The 100 ended this year. If we want to get to talking about their DC shows, Arrow ended earlier this year. I don't know if Arrow's attempted spinoff. I don't know if Arrow's attempted spinoff ever actually got picked up for a show. Supergirl
So-
got canned, and now it is announced that at the end of season 4, Black Lightning is also getting canned. 4 seasons, and they're finished. Canned may be a little aggressive, but
Yeah. I think canned is the wrong word.
Spun out.
they're canning it.
Hey, we are
Reassessment,
entertaining.
I think, would be the
if
word.
nothing else, we're entertaining,
Yeah.
bro.
At very least, thank you. We
True
appreciate that.
True that.
So, guys, go ahead. Those of you who actually who do partake in watching the
Yeah.
CW shows, please, where do you guys think this is headed? What do you think they're doing? Because there
So-
was a potential for a spinoff and talk. Be my guest.
I think the
Sorry.
reasoning behind it
Steve,
is
so-
that they're gonna be doing a Super Friends show. Because at the end of the last Crisis, they like pretty much put together the quote unquote Justice League. They couldn't call it that,
Yep.
but
Yep.
like they could call it the Super Friends. But with everything that's going on with Arrow ending, possibly getting a spinoff, you said, I heard Stephen Amell talking about that Arrow almost was brought back like from the dead during
That's-
quarantine.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not correctly. Okay, so that's I read into that. That is
Yeah.
not. That's a misquoting of what he said.
Yeah.
What he said was he reached out to Berlanti kind of half jokingly and was like, because
Yeah.
a real potential issue with actors who live in the U.S. bordering going into Canada into Vancouver to film was a bit iffy during COVID. He
Mhm.
kind of jokingly implied like, hey, if you can't get actors to come back, I'm
Yeah.
already in Canada. I'll come back and film for Arrow. And I think people took that and just the reporting, the headline reporting ran and made it seem more legit than it was. But I don't think there are any intent plans to resurrect Arrow.
I don't think they're resurrecting Arrow proper. I think they are bringing Stephen Amell as Arrow back because I don't think they're getting rid of Melissa Benoist. I don't think they're getting rid of Cress Williams. These are really good actors as their characters.
That's why Supergirl is ending because she asked to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
she wants out. She wants out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So they're
Melissa
not getting
Benoist
rid
has
of her.
to leave?
Yeah, they're not getting rid of her. She
Oh.
wants out.
No,
Yeah.
that one I didn't hear.
That's the only reason why the show's ending because in reports, Melissa she had asked to leave because I believe during the time when she was shooting Supergirl, she was pregnant,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a mix of when she delivers the child and becomes like a new mother, she is just going to be more trying to acclimate, being with her children more at home, or she doesn't want to do the traveling back and forth wherever
Wow.
she's living at right now because. Let's be honest. As much as I love the CW shows, the fact that most of them were being shot in Vancouver already felt like a bit of an issue because one of the biggest things with Supergirl was she started off on the CBS, which was all shot in LA,
California.
LA, yeah.
which is why you had a majority of actors. It's one of the reasons why Christopher Lockhart,
Melissa Flockhart's gone, yeah.
Rod Brooks had such big roles in the first season because they were all within that LA area. But the moment
We never saw Max Lord again.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know his character. And then once season 2 happened, Makad Brooks, he was only gonna he was
Yeah.
a part-timer, and Calista
Mhm.
Flockhart, she
Jenna
went to-
Tatum, too.
That's true. Their characters
Yeah.
were all taken out because it seemed with Jenna's character. Actually, if we look at the end of the first season of Supergirl, it seemed we were gonna get more with Max Lord and with
Yeah.
Luke Lane. But of
Yep.
course, it happened.
Yeah,
Nothing,
the Lanes, General Lane, Glenn Morshower.
Yeah.
It's a different show now. Like it was almost season 2 was almost like a reboot. It's like, okay, here's all new sets, here's all new people.
Yeah.
But Supergirl's the one. After I heard that, like that they were taking it off the air, my initial thought was, okay, they have a Superman show now. They're just gonna put it on her. But if she
Superman.
asks to leave the show, you might be having a different scenario there because it's not a good look. The second you announce a Superman show, you're announcing that you're canceling Supergirl. That just really isn't a good look.
I can see how the timeline does make a lot of people confused, especially if they're not following the entertainment news. But I do remember even after the Elseworlds crossover, there were already like rumors or striking interest for a Superman and Lois show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Oh yeah, that show was in the works for a while.
yeah, I'm guessing maybe because of how good Tyler Hoechlin and what's her name, Elizabeth
Tulloch. I'm looking it up right now.
Elizabeth. I guess because how good those two were together. And to be honest, personally, they were my favorite moments of that of the Elseworlds crossover. So I kind of see how they want to take that good fortune, and even then having them pop back up, like in bits in Supergirl, and then in the Crisis on Infinite Earths
Yeah.
crossover. I'm guessing that there was enough goodwill with them, and also the fact that we're going to
He's a good Superman.
Yeah, we're also going to get a baby Jonathan. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this is going to be done.
I'm
And
excited about Jonathan. I want Damian to come in the works now. Like, just give me a Super Sons comic book
Super
adaptation.
Sons.
Yeah,
we
give me
don't
that.
need
That's one of the best
Batman,
comics
but
they
you can
have
get
right
a
now.
Wayne. You can do what Batwoman was trying to do. They were going to tease bringing in Bruce Wayne, though, like they
Bruce
did.
Wayne, Yeah.
Yeah. They cast an actor for Bruce Wayne. Like they showed him at like the end of the season last year. I think everything that they had planned for their universe completely flipped upside down the second Ruby Rose left. Because at the end of Crisis, they clearly had plans going forward,
They did.
and then they had to retweak everything.
That was one of my big issues with Crisis, how
Yeah.
they were, instead of trying to make it a symbol, a one solid story to pay homage to their past and future and present, they spent most of it trying to put more on Ruby Rose. They're putting a lot on most of it. They were putting a lot on Supergirl and Batwoman. They're trying to,
Yeah.
they want to make them the world's finest of that universe.
The world's finest. The whole thing with the kryptonite, they were setting that up for like years in the future. Like, we're gonna have a Batwoman versus Supergirl. She's gonna have to take her out, and it's just that's never gonna happen. Now there's gonna be some rando street kid that's gonna get the kryptonite now.
Get
Like
the
how is that
kryptonite,
even
have
gonna
it.
work?
I think I like it better when the TV shows don't try too hard to do what the movies have already done.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Supergirl and Flash, and I didn't like Arrow, but all the other shows I did. And Black Lightning, I love.
Oh my God.
Are we still
Really
getting the
love that
Painkiller
show.
show?
I think there's,
I don't know.
I think they
Because
may
he was
actually-
the best part of that show.
Yeah, I've been way behind on Black Lightning, but when I caught back up with season 2, the character arc they did with Khalil, and then
Khalil, yeah.
they did with him in season 3. yeah,
Yeah.
That actor is just such a physical presence.
He went from being very annoying in the first season. to
Yeah.
have I think that's how. Unfortunately, that's how their best characters come off when they start off
Mhm.
annoying. Then you see them grow.
Wayne Brady, come on.
Yeah. It started like that with Thea in Arrow, to where you hated her in season 1.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. She lightens up in the second season,
White people love Wayne Brady.
and then even with
Makes Bryant Gumbel look like Malcolm
side
X.
characters compared to most of the shows because they start off and then they get better.
Let's play Who Line anyway.
I've been watching some old Chappelle show, and that shit is funny.
I knew
Sorry.
what you were doing with that
I
one
was
day.
I
was gonna say
it was either that or
to,
the PCP one.
to answer your question, Nikki.
You let me get wet.
There is no confirmed full-on development of a painkiller show. What has been confirmed is that a season 4 episode will serve as a backdoor pilot.
Backdoor
with
pilot, like the
with Jordan
Canaries,
Holloway taking the lead in that episode, similar as to how they did with the Green Arrow and the Canaries. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope we're getting that Green Arrow and the Canaries show, because the thing is that I thought about that pilot was that I liked it. I don't think it's enough to be its own show.
Sure.
Like, it's something they might be able to like tie into Legends of Tomorrow, because like you got that perfect Canary connection with Legends of Tomorrow. That's the one that I am surprised out of all of these shows that are getting canceled. Legends of freaking Tomorrow is the one that remains unscathed.
Remains
How?
on.
That show
That
sucks.
show is
It's
drastically
trash. That's
different. That first 2 seasons of that show was like DC Comics A-list villain. It was like watching
Right.
fireworks. The first 2
Yep.
seasons of that show.
I
then they're
just
just
know,
like,
the
you know what? We're
physics
just gonna
make
be
no
goofballs
sense,
now.
but yeah.
That's what I thought too. Look, many people I know don't like the first season of Legends. I actually
Yeah.
like that because it's all about them
Oh, I loved it.
building the team dynamic, especially if it's mainly of side characters, outcasts, and villains. I'm like,
Remember the Camelot episode?
Constantine.
Like that Camelot episode is everything you need to know about that.
Dude, yeah.
Right.
Has anybody seen the Stars and Stripes of the Stargirl show?
Stargirl is incredible. Stargirl
Oh,
is way
oh
better than it should be.
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to, but
It
I haven't been able
is
to.
so. I was
It's
not
one of the
looking forward to that
best
show at all.
shows to watch Stargirl.
It was so good.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
See,
My
Doom
mom
Patrol,
actually
Titans, I was
comes
disappointed
from
with.
Stargirl,
Stargirl,
and That's how far behind I am. Like my mom, she loves Supergirl. She got to watch Stargirl, and she doesn't even have she didn't have a DC Universe pass. Like the moment they were on
No.
CW, she binged all of those stuff. And she's
And the
texting
reason they were able to get away with that, product placement.
without that.
Product placement is why they were able to stream that on 2 different platforms at once, because the product placement in that show is why it looks so good.
Yeah, someone
Because
showed
they
I saw
paid
the-
for it.
Yeah.
What is it streaming on?
Right
Well,
now it's on CW Seed, I think,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
also HBO Max.
Oh,
So I
it's
think
on
it's
HBO Max.
Well,
Yeah.
Doom
See,
Patrol and Titans. Yeah.
yeah.
I've been wanting to watch Doom Patrol too, but
Yeah.
Same here.
Doom
The-
Patrol
the-
leaves
I-
a lot
I
of
Every
think
things
time I
it's
get on
like
HBO
DC
Max,
Max
there's something
or HBO
different
Max,
that
I
I
mean.
end up watching movie wise.
You
But
can, people go back and forth on Doom Patrol. I like the story. Sometimes
I like Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg is great.
Yeah, Cyborg's awesome.
This season, he actually has a good arc. I like the addition of Penny Far. No. I'm thinking that's one of James' personalities. Dorothy
Bond,
Skinner.
Bangs and Neanderthal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even it's been a while. Okay, Larry Train. Like, I have a freaking Doom Patrol poster right here, and I'm forgetting their names.
Yeah, it happens, bro.
I accidentally labeled like half of my media library today as Doom Patrol Season 1. Like I was organizing. I'm like, okay, this isn't in the right place. Why is it? And then I accidentally like merged 2 folders, and now Family Guy, like Family Guy, Game of Thrones, they're all just grouped in as Doom Patrol. Hi.
Manages to spell both names wrong.
Yeah.
Who this kid is?
I was
I gotta
gonna
know who this
say.
kid is. It's
And
making me crazy.
it's on the screen.
Who this kid is?
Dank Ferrick.
Dank Ferrick.
That's his name. Dank Ferrick. It's him.
All right, that's Dank Ferrick. All right.
We got 2
No,
Danks.
that's my name. See,
We're gonna have to
Dank
tell-
Ferrick and John
we're gonna have to
Cena.
tell these Danks apart.
That's my
We're gonna
name,
tell
Dank
these
Ferrick.
Danks apart, okay?
What is happening?
Dank Ferrick actually fits Kevin better.
I
It
asked
does.
myself the same question.
you
it,
get that
it definitely does. I
He
think I
gets to
might
be
go
Dank.
by that for the rest of the geek tournament.
one. Yeah.
I do want to say I am personally upset that Black Lightning is ending. I really thought the show
Yeah.
was finally finding its own groove,
It was.
and especially with the addition of Jennifer getting her abilities. Like, I love
Mhm. She finally got her powers. Yeah.
well, not just the powers,
They
but
did weird
also the
stuff with
conflict
Crisis too.
of wanting to use her powers. Like in the 3rd season,
Yeah.
working with the ASA and having that crisis.
Mhm.
Hey, Chris, shut up.
Don't tell me to shut. He's enthusiastic.
Bro, I appreciate that.
No one's allowed to comment anything in our chat. Okay.
He cares
No
about
comment.
this more than
No
any of us.
Like,
I know, I'm messing with
You
him.
guys do not
He
do
knows I'm messing
The
with him.
fan base, even if it's just one person.
Oh, that's
here.
really you? Oh God, that's him. That's actually him.
I knew it was him.
I thought he
kid
was
in
saying
Nikki
hi
and
to the
Devin's
kid in Nikki and
screen.
Devin's
Who else
screen.
would it be? The Mandalorian
I was
flag?
worried. I'm like, oh God, they're gonna start picking on him.
Unless there's
happening?
some weird phantom
God.
in your room, then yeah, it's the odd
There might be a
child that
phantom
has
in the
sitting
room.
next to you.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh,
right. Well,
my.
I'm going to use that as a segue to anything else in the world.
That's a
Oh.
great Sulu line.
Hold on. I want
Great
to hear
Sulu lines.
Nikki, what I mean,
Hello.
Hello there.
you shows, right? Your thoughts on Black Lightning ending?
Yeah, that
What's
never
that?
got brought up very much, but
Oh, I don't watch Black Lightning, so I can't comment on that. But
I watched
Alan,
it. I
you
got to
said you
admit, it
watched
was my least favorite of all of them, but I liked where it was going.
I liked where I think it had a lot of potential because it's so much. No. I think it's really good. I think the characters, again, you get really involved and invested in their storylines and what's going on, and then it's going to be over. So I'm really hoping they pull some of those characters into, if
Yeah.
they do kind of a Super Friends or group show, I really hope that some of them pull into other shows because there's way too much interest. Black Lightning, honestly, has always been one of my favorite characters. And so
It's
when
fun.
I was on board when they first announced it, I went, oh, thank God, let's go. And it's the one that me and my son consistently watch because we like that one. We like that character a lot. And finally getting invested in all the characters with some of the other shows, the seasons that, for example, Arrow. I never got into Arrow because all those side characters I just never cared about. And I
Yeah.
hated the flashback every episode. I couldn't handle that. But Black Lightning, I think, fit, a nice groove, and you really got invested in the
It
characters.
had less episodes too.
Yeah, and
True.
I think it was
It
just
benefited
a
from
lot of
less
fun.
episodes.
Yeah,
I think they should lower every single one of those shows to 12 episodes.
Easy.
Like lower them to 12
Exactly.
episodes, and then for the crossover, just do like a 10 episode crossover every year.
Maybe
Exactly. I
14
think
or
that's
15
perfect.
Max. 14 or 15 max. I mean,
Yeah. They should definitely limit it.
Because
All the
yeah,
shows.
Supergirl was the one that I thought they need to trim the
Pardon me,
fat the
gentlemen,
most on
I-
that show.
Yeah,
I had
because I
There are
was into
too many
Supergirl.
characters
the
in
night
Supergirl.
I was into Supergirl the first 3 seasons. I
Fucking
Yeah.
was really into
Alex
it, and then I
Jones
just
tunes
lost.
into our show. That is
Hey.
awesome.
Hey,
But like,
Alex
you don't need
Jones.
Jimmy Olsen's
I
sister.
have to take a
I'm
shit
a
on
for Alex Jones be watching this show.
I don't need
You're-
handsome
I'm
British
Alex
reporter.
Jones.
I don't need Andrea Rojas or whatever her name was. Like, there are so many horrible characters on Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
That
There's
is
a
Just
lot of horrible
garbage
characters.
characters that are series regulars.
There is one thing that unfortunately that Arrow
But they had the
unfortunately
Martians. though.
was the team dynamic. How it was when Arrow started, it was mainly just a 3-person trio. Then we started to build, and then Flash copied that formula and made Team Flash, Team Arrow. Then you get Team Supergirl.
Copycat.
And I'm okay with the team too. It's just like with Team Flash, it's like they have their A-listers and then they like have a JV squad for when their A-listers aren't
Yeah.
there. So like they have Cisco, Caitlin, even
Yes,
like
nice.
Elongated Man, he was good. But then you have these side characters like
I
this
liked Ralph.
this Allegra girl that works at the reporting place, the other lady that works at the reporting place, the other
Yeah,
lady that
other
works
lady
at the
that works at
reporting
the
place.
reporting
Didn't
place.
we recently just get a metahuman on who technically is replacing Cisco?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
What's the guy?
how many other Slade Wilsons have there been?
Charles something.
He's talking about the Slade Wilson from Teen Titans.
From Teen Titans, yeah.
Ron
Oh,
Perlman voiced him in Teen Titans.
Oh wow.
yeah,
Manu
I've seen
Bennett.
that.
Yeah, I'd say
Manu.
Manu still. He was good. I didn't like the one that played him in Titans, the DC Universe Titans. That show's just weak. It's
After episode 9, I stopped.
I don't care.
I washed my hands of that show. I'm not.
I don't
watching-
care about it. Like I just
never started it.
want to so bad
No,
because like
same.
I'm dying for a Robin show, but it's just
DC
Snoozer.
has so many like
They are-
shows and
They're not
storylines.
building a narrative. They're so focused on a larger. The Titan show was so focused on a larger narrative, they forgot about building us characters or giving a loose
Yeah.
thread for us to follow. Which is why Dick Grayson, Raven, and Starfire, their characters were just not put together very
focus
well.
on Dick, Starfire, and Beast Boy.
No, Raven should have been the main person to follow. You'd have Dick as a supporting character. But the problem was because it's Dick Grayson and his ties to Batman, the people in charge wanted more focus on that. When the truth was, from the trailers and from that first pilot episode, Raven looked like she was going to be the main thread with her being taken down because of who she's a part of. But other than that, with Black Lightning, I am sad to see it go. I was halfway through season 3 catching up with it. I wanted to wait till season 4 was all done so then I could watch all of it. But since it's ending, I'm gonna try to catch up with as many episodes as I can so then I can start, watching it.
Curious to see what they replace it with, though.
Well,
Yeah.
to transition out of this topic and using what Ryan was saying, for those of you who are fans of Black Lightning, the CW has confirmed that its 4th and now final season is set to premiere on February 8th, 2021. So that is when the final season of Black Lightning will begin. All right. So with that, I have a couple of news stories pulled up, which again I can use to kind of twist the conversation to wherever we'd like it to go. And we can go ahead and use this one to move from one black named superhero to another black named superhero, as it was confirmed earlier this
Devin,
week
right?
that Black Panther 2 is set to begin production in July 2021. Per the Hollywood Reporter, they have booked at least 6 months worth of filming at the Atlanta studio that Marvel has, most of which, if not all of which, will be Black Panther. We also have confirmation that Black Panther 2 is adding Narcos Mexico actor Tina Huerta. I apologize if I mispronounced that, to play one of the villain roles in the movie. It's also now confirmed officially that Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and Angela Bassett are returning to the cast.
Not
There's
Denai
still
Guerrero?
no, not
I'm
officially,
also-
but most likely.
What?
I'm
I'm
just reading
also
what's in front of
going to add on to this that they did say that they would not be using any CGI or
Yeah.
old footage of Chadwick Boseman
That's
for
a smart
the
choice.
film,
That is,
Right,
which
that
is so smart.
They'll
was
just
just
give it
gonna
to
say that.
Shiri,
The
right?
pass.
Because it
Go
works so
free.
well in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, well, with Rise
like-
and Rogue
that was like
One,
MTV
and
Movie
I
Awards
mean, there
level
were just
stuff
so
in
many,
here's the biggest
so
issue.
many misses. It's like let's just
That
avoid that altogether.
The way a hologram. It really
Yeah.
could. In a,
Okay. No.
Yeah.
I gotta stop this.
This is not a
We're
Star
not
Wars
talking about
cast.
that today.
It's not a
Nick,
Star
Can't do
Wars
it.
cast.
you're right. Me and you literally will go tooth and nail over this. So
We'll talk for hours. That's why we could
Yeah,
just
you
sit
will.
down. Yeah.
But-
Can I make a horrible confession that everyone will hate me for?
Sure.
Sure.
I hate Black Panther.
Ooh.
Why? No.
Right.
No.
I don't-
Let him
I don't
answer.
think that's a
Why?
great
I'm
thing at all.
kidding, Alan. I'm kidding.
Alan's no longer with us. Sorry, we lost his connection.
back.
I like
Um,
to know why.
Let me
Here's
clarify.
the
Hold
thing.
on.
just
I don't
clarify.
hate
Let me
some
clarify.
people.
Let me undig the grave here.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite of the films. I think the CGI is a train wreck all the way through. I
Agreed.
think the Black Panther
Absolutely.
story is better told in Civil War.
That's fair.
I
Agreed.
think the acting is good for a few of the characters, but not consistent throughout. I think
That's
Claw is unnecessarily added to it.
Oh, no.
I agree with I agree with that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think he was also unnecessary in Age of Ultron as well.
But he's
but
awesome.
I just
No, I do like
I
it,
just
so.
really did not like. I liked the very end of the film. I think Michael B. Jordan was a good actor. I think he was a mediocre bad guy with a great final speech. And I think I didn't really care much about the storyline overall. I was more interested in his familial connection, and we didn't get enough of that. So it was a really mediocre film to me. So I'm not looking forward to the sequel if it's the same director.
Do you
It is
think
ranked-
Michael B.
it's
Jordan will
ranked.
be reanimated by
it is
Atlantis?
ranked.
What? Say what?
Will Michael B. Jordan be reanimated by Atlantis after they buried him in the ocean where his ancestors jumped from the ship?
Was there?
Because if they bury him in the ocean, he's going to sink to the bottom of the ocean. He's going to sink into Atlantis,
And
and
then
then they can
Namor is gonna bring him
resurrect him,
back.
getting the star power of Michael B. Jordan for
Oh
Black
my
Panther 2.
God.
Not gonna happen.
Nikki,
Not gonna
Yeah, I
happen.
don't think so either.
you have said, hold on, Nikki, we've talked about this before. You have
I think
said,
he's more likely to play Mr. Fantastic than for that to happen.
you have said a lot of harebrained things on this show that I
That's
find.
not my theory. I can't take credit for that one.
I
That's a
hate
pretty harebrained thing.
Even Diaz says,
Is there talk
"Wow."
about
right,
Sheer
let Aaron speak.
Suri
Aaron has-
becoming the new Black Panther? Because just like the
so,
comic books,
so
she
I
became
was-
the new
I
Black
was-
Panther.
I was getting, I was getting
Diaz did
to
say
it.
that.
I was
Yeah,
getting
that's what
to
I
it
would like
before
to
I
see.
got cut. Before I got cut off by the conversation. Thank you. I was getting there. There is, as of now, there is no confirmation as to how they will be handling Black Panther, and Disney has gone as far as to make statements saying that while internally they are discussing and making those decisions, it is not their intention to basically make it public anytime soon. That now it should be more about mourning and remembering Chadwick than it should be focusing on the future. But it is something they're discussing. The only thing they have confirmed is the producers speaking out about not using
CGI.
But I do
Well,
think we
what
can
do you guys
confirm
think about this?
What you-
What do you guys think about this? Black Panther better as a Disney Plus series or another movie?
Disney
I'm-
Plus series.
Depends on where they're taking it.
I'm going to say the unpopular thing because I honestly think it is the best option. I think they should recast him. I really do.
I do too.
I-
Absolutely.
As much as I think that he was incredible in that role, specifically in Civil War, I thought he was brilliant in this role.
He was amazing in Civil War.
I
Incredible.
just think it's my prerogative that when it comes to film, I don't think there is any character that is above an actor. Dumbledore
And I
got
think it's a disservice not to
Yeah.
recast him.
Dumbledore
And
Because
got
he put the last
recasted.
years of his life into portraying
And
that
not-
character, building
and
that
not-
character up.
and
Just
not
for them
only
to bench him?
Right. Not only do I think they're going to recast him, I think Chadwick Boseman gave them a few actors' names that should take
Well,
over.
I was gonna say he did know he was gonna die for
Well, okay,
a
so
while
well,
before
so
that
so
happened.
here's the thing because I have done, not for this,
Yeah.
but I've looked into it. As now, unless there's things that aren't being said, that's absolutely true. But as far as what has been publicly stated by people within Disney and what has been said coming out of Chadwick's camp, that was not the mindset. Apparently, for
They
a
had
long
no clue.
time, he was doing very, very well. And within a week or two of his passing, things took a really bad, sharp turn.
Right.
But apparently, people at Disney, until after his passing, were not aware of what was happening.
Yeah, that's
or
what Feige said.
the severity of what was happening. So this is them acting completely without any suggestion from Chadwick.
Right.
But I think
Um,
without opening the can of worms, just bringing up, not
Thought of that.
regardless of if you like the movie or not, the
Sure.
Leia thing, the way that they handled the Leia thing in
It was
Rise of
terrible.
Skywalker, I think that right there shows that you should recast.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Because I'm a person that
Agreed.
loves that movie, but at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, Carrie Fisher devoted the last years of her life to making that character good again, like bringing that character back.
Mhm.
And you're just gonna bench the character right after she like died doing that. It seems wrong for them to just bench T'Challa. If you say you don't want to recast him right away, like if you don't
Yeah.
want to have T'Challa in Black Panther 2, don't. I'm okay with that. But just saying like 5 years, 10 years down the line that you're not going to have another T'Challa.
Yeah, he should
T'Challa
definitely
is a
come back.
household name because of what Chadwick Boseman did.
I'm just
We need to
surprised
keep that alive.
I'm just surprised it's already going into production in July. I thought they would have waited at least
Yeah.
another year to try to get other things in.
And
And
the
then
fact that
just
they're
to
saying that
kinda-
makes it okay for us to talk about.
Well, the thing is, like,
Sure.
a lot of their other stuff, because people forget, like, their next couple of upcoming films are already totally in the can. Black Widow's been finished. Eternals is
Mhm.
finished.
Is Strange
Shang-
finished?
Strange hasn't started filming, I don't believe.
Yeah,
They
they're
have-
looking like they're doing pre-production stuff with Strange.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi is not finished, but filming is in the can.
Yeah.
So they're ahead. The delays due to COVID have put them weirdly ahead in terms of their
Mhm.
filming schedule. They've basically filmed everything they're going to release next year, because that's also including, with the exception of a few days in Prague, Falcon and Winter Soldier's in the can. I
Yeah.
believe Loki is back in active production now.
WandaVision's also in the can as well.
WandaVision.
And
Yeah,
WandaVision
right.
now has a
Right,
release
right.
date. So, yeah.
So-
it-
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
So I just had a weird question because there was some other news this week. Do you think that they will try to go for a streaming wars and release Black Widow on Christmas Day to have a counter programming thing with Wonder Woman? You think
I
that?
don't
Al?
yes.
You think so? I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, they'll definitely do
definitely will.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
They have to.
They
They kinda have
do it
to.
with Civil War and Batman
Because
versus
the-
Superman in theaters, but it's on TV at home on Christmas Day.
They already got
Okay,
sold.
so here, what this part specifically wasn't a news story that I pulled, but when I was looking up news stories, I read through a couple different articles to pick what would be the best conversational topics, which we can jump to it in a bit if you guys want. There are a lot of films that Disney is discussing putting on Disney Plus. It
Yeah.
is definitively being said as of now, Black Widow is not one of them. They are
Yeah.
willing to hold out for theatrical release.
I hope so.
So I don't think they'll do anything to try and compete with Wonder Woman. I think they'll let that sink or swim as it will, and that'll be it. What's up, Brian?
Just wanted to get a few pennies into the Black Panther conversation
Yeah.
before we
Yeah,
move
of
on.
course. Yeah, no.
One, Alan,
Yeah.
I don't hate you for that too. Me walking up, that was just for comedy effect.
I know, right?
And
He is
Aaron,
on his way to Hawaii.
I can understand why it's an unpopular opinion, but it would not surprise me if there are a few studio execs that had that thought go around in their head as well.
That's actually
I
a
do
good point.
believe that at some point they are going. I believe right now with Black Panther, the character of T'Challa, they're shelving that. They're shelving
Probably.
recast right now. I'm pretty sure starting like maybe somewhere around March or maybe February of next year, they'll come back to whether if they want to recast him. I think
Yes.
right now, yeah, the best thing to do. Let us mourn, celebrate Chadwick Boseman's passing. I think it is a smart play for them to move forward with Black Panther 2. Because if that is shelved in itself, because look, I understand all the problems with Black Panther. I completely do. T'Challa did seem better in Civil War because that was our introduction to him.
Mhm.
I like Black Panther because not as much as people are going to say it's not a T'Challa movie, I think they're wrong. It is mostly a Wakanda and T'Challa movie because we were introduced to T'Challa the warrior, the Black Panther in Civil War. And like that, and like what he said to Captain America, the mantle of king has now been thrust on him. He had his arc completed by finding the man who killed his father and bring him to justice and letting go of vengeance. So what he has to do now, he has to move on and become king. That moment in the ancestral plane, I would have loved more of that. That's the moment we get to see T'Challa really break down and mourn his father's passing.
Yep.
It's that small moment which shows throughout the entire movie why T'Challa has to be very proper. He has to be very rigid. He has to be very stern because he's king now. The responsibility is on him. He cannot look weak in front of his people. And if he does, guess what? Guys like Killmonger, guys like his best friend Wakabi will turn on him. it's that situation to where he has to almost come off as cold and unfeeling a little bit.
We have no clue what happened in that 5 years either. That's another thing to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing Black Panther 2 can do. I mean, well,
I
Shuri
always thought they might explore that.
was also dusted as well, but Black Panther 2 can pretty much be where Shuri back in the present has to learn about the 5 years, how she's going to adjust.
They could always retcon it and say that she was alive during those 5 years too, if they wanted to. That
Well,
wouldn't kill me.
In game.
Yeah, no, I know.
But
That's why it would be a
I
retcon.
follow you. I read you.
Like they could say like she was high, because that's another thing. Wakanda was isolated. We don't even know. Like we know
Even
that
when-
Okoye was
we
with
saw
the
Wakanda-
Avengers.
We saw
Yeah.
Wakanda snapped when in Infinity
Yeah.
War on the field.
But we don't know. Like after
Yeah,
that
so-
snap happened,
so
were they just
we-
like, okay,
so-
get out?
I was gonna say I'm very sure the confirmation of actors being in the film eliminates it being a prequel setting, kind of like
You're
Black
sure?
Widow, because Letitia Wright got dusted, and I'm also very sure M'Baku got dusted as well.
No, M'Baku
Yeah.
stayed because during that
No,
dust
he
scene,
was still alive.
she was
I'm pretty
on
sure.
the field watching it happen, just like
Okay.
Okoye
Yeah.
when she saw T'Challa dust in front of her.
Oh,
Okoye
Okay.
is
Well,
sure.
either way, I don't think they'll. I don't think that's what they'll do. I think they will want to move forward with it.
Yeah.
I think they'll
Um,
move forward.
yeah.
It'll be
I
like
think-
a mild soft reboot. My opinion of Black Panther 2, it's either going to be these two situations. One, they're going to have T'Challa killed and Shuri takes him out, or T'Challa decides to go on a walkabout. And he's going to be away, and Shuri will take the mantle, and then
He
maybe
could also be playing without.
I actually like that.
they bring him back.
But
I
Like,
like
I would
that,
say
Ryan. I
set
think
the
that's a
movie
good
outside
idea.
of Wakanda and just have her be Black Panther Avenger, like around
That's
the
the
universe.
problem.
Because that's another thing. T'Chaka is still king, while T'Challa was Black Panther.
Yeah,
Well,
we
yeah.
don't really need that inside story as much this time around necessarily. Like that
Yeah.
familial
But
story.
the
We shall
only
see.
the only issue I think with that particular pitch is, again, with the cast bringing back so many members of the previous film, and there are people who haven't been talked about. Like obviously in the just the few names I read, Denai Guerrero wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure she'll get brought back. There's also the question of, does Daniel Kaluuya get brought back as Wakabi, because he was also a decently
He's in those
sized
Xbox
character.
commercials everywhere.
His
Um,
character was
I
not
think he
still
will.
wrong. His character was arrested, so there
his
is
his character is still very much alive.
He was arrested and forced to do Xbox commercials.
Yes, he had to do Xbox
And
commercials.
so I think
What is
yeah.
with those? Like, those are horrible commercials.
Nah, I
Oh,
disagree. They're
Aaron Paul's
fine.
What is he
commercial.
doing? Who's that girl?
You're insane. You just hate Xbox, Nikki. That's why.
I love Xbox.
That's what it is.
You hate it. Okay,
What are
you don't
talking
like
about? I had an
Xbox.
Xbox
Yeah.
before I had anything.
No, you're lying. Look, there's a lot of PlayStation and Nintendo fans that used to have an Xbox and said, you know what, I'm gonna jump on the train of Xbox has no games. That's what you did. You used
I
the
can't
controller.
afford
Oh, there it is.
Fundamentally single.
I still have it. I still have
Yeah,
my
I
Xbox
can't
One.
afford a new PlayStation. That's why I'm going to use my old Xbox for new games.
But you still hate Xbox. You're
I
upset
love
you have to use
Xbox.
it. You hate that you have to use it. But
He's
to
putting
go
guys.
back
I
to
love
Sir,
Xbox.
He's lying to you.
You ain't getting a
You're absolutely
sponsorship, so it's all right, man. You don't need to worry about it.
Lying. But I
Alright.
do want to go back to why
You're making
the
those
Shuri
residual
thing.
checks.
I do want to explain why the Shuri thing actually wouldn't work based on what they set in the movies. Is when you take the mantle of Black Panther and your king or whatever, you fight for that. And Shuri would not win that fight. With hand-to-hand combat.
should be Black Panther.
What?
That's why it
You
wouldn't
don't
work.
think she can win? Man, I don't.
No,
I'm
absolutely
sorry.
not. You
Baku,
can't.
You really
With their
think
tech stripped
one-on-one,
down, absolutely
they
not.
won't use tech. Yeah.
To be fair,
combat.
if
She would get her
and I-
ass kicked by him.
I was gonna say,
I like her a lot.
He almost
Dang.
beat T'Challa.
Oh, you got
alone.
phased out because that's some
Nah.
nonsense.
So,
yeah, yeah. So,
Like,
so
he's trying
yeah.
to show his lies, but I do think they're gonna recast. But they
I
already
don't-
set in the
don't
movie
think
what
a
the rules.
recast
That's
would
why.
be. I think honestly, I think Shuri would be better.
Give it to Okoye.
Because I like her. I like the actor first of all that plays that role. And I think
Yeah, I like her too.
seeing her stripped down of her tech and what she has to do with her, just herself, would
Yeah.
be as cool as seeing Tony Stark in Iron
Maybe
Man
that's
3
what the movie's
stripped
about.
down.
Like, she has to win the mantle of Black Panther back.
Yeah,
She
that
had
would be
it
cool.
first in the first movie. In the first movie, when we meet Shuri, she's very tech obsessed. She,
Yep.
I mean, even I'm not saying she has no respect for traditions, but she's more of a futurist in the land of Wakanda.
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
mix of technology and tradition. Her mini arc was her having to embrace the traditions of Wakanda.
Of
Which is
Wakanda.
why when
Was
you
it though? Like,
Wakanda-
how did she
Yeah,
do
it
that
was.
other than the way that she dressed?
No, look. If you go back in the movie, you see her in that first challenge, the challenge
Yeah.
thing. She doesn't care. She doesn't want to be
She
there.
doesn't want it to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
But it's
knocking.
not until after T'Challa loses to Killmonger, you see her emotions start to show up. And even then, when T'Challa,
She's
when they find
invested.
T'Challa amongst the Jabari and they give him the herb, you see her
Mhm.
Yeah.
join the mother in the prayer. And now
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a huge leap. But like I said,
My
it's just
concern
small.
is that even with their tech, she couldn't beat Killmonger.
I just
I mean, she
She
can't.
did anyway.
But they
hand-to-hand
do it in
combat.
the-
I like just
No, in
can't
the
see her.
film
win.
they show her that she came close. In the film they showed her that with her tech, she came close. It wasn't enough, obviously,
No.
because
Right.
she's not a warrior.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty
No,
sure
it's not.
they do bring
So,
the
so
shooting.
it could be about her becoming a warrior.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
true.
true.
that could
It
be what it's
could.
about.
Which I'd be
Yeah.
fine.
That
I
would
just
be-
felt
that'd be
like,
cool.
as far as the king role, I don't think she could beat M'Baku one-on-one.
No, I don't think she's gonna be
It just
ruling Wakanda.
it wouldn't make sense. I mean, Marvel's already
Yeah.
not realistic. That seems it would be a little bit out of the range. I wouldn't mind
Oh.
her taking
Oh.
over.
Yeah,
if
it's just
we found a
Winston Duke
different way
gets
to make it
What if-
her, and she
I
just
think I like where Ryan's
is
going. I
over
think I know where he's going.
Avengers.
Guys, I
What's
just
up,
got,
Ryan?
let's say for Black Panther 2,
Mhm.
let's say we start off the movie and we have M'Baku as Black Panther. And Shuri.
No, he wouldn't be Black Panther though, because he
No,
worships the gorilla.
Hold up,
Nick,
let him speak. Let him speak. Let's not cut
No,
everybody
I'm
off.
not saying he's king. Let's say Angela Bassett's character, she is the Queen Regent of Wakanda. M'Baku has taken the role of Black Panther because with T'Challa gone or doing a walkabout, however they're going to write that off, they need someone to take up the mantle. And so he's the mantle for a while.
But that wouldn't be him. He would be the great gorilla.
M'Baku starts, he doesn't have that sense of righteousness or justice that T'Challa has. And then
Yeah.
throughout the second movie, his views start to get a little more skewed to where he only sees the power of being Black Panther, to where, let's say towards the end of the act, we have a one-on-one between him and Shuri to who becomes Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Therefore,
So,
they turn
Can I
him
ask for a clarification though?
yeah.
When you say the mantle of Black Panther, do you mean
Yeah.
King of Wakanda or do you mean Black Panther?
Black
Just
Panther.
Just
Okay,
like
because M'Baku hates Panthers. Like his whole entire religion is based against
of the
like
gorilla.
Panthers.
Right,
Worshipping
but they-
Panthers is heresy.
Okay, but they didn't get into that in the film, so you can ignore that.
They
piece of it.
did. They did. He's mocking him
Religions
when he's
can
fighting. He
change.
says, "Where is your God now?"
Religious
Like,
things
he
change
does
a lot,
not-
though.
True.
worship the Panther
But
at all.
hold on, hold on, Nikki. Hold
I
on,
think he would
Nikki.
be ruler of Wakanda, just not.
Let's-
Like, I don't think he
let's-
will ever.
Let's
wear
leave the religious zealotry out of it for a minute.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, but it's
Um,
just what he says.
I know, but I like Ryan. I like where this is going because also at least let's forget Wakanda has got to make a bunch of changes because they at the end of the movie went into the world, let the world know they existed, let the world know. So that's going to change maybe some of the political aspects and the intergovernment working of Wakanda itself. So I
Which
kind of
is
like
what
that
M'Baku did
idea
not
of
want.
exploring that too.
Right.
Exactly.
What-
That's
isn't
the thing with M'Baku. If he does have the mantle, even if he's not Black Panther, let's say he
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
yeah, but
just the
I know,
top
let's
dog.
say that he takes the herb, he becomes the warrior. He may have the mantle of Black Panther just for the face, but then
Yeah.
let's say the politics, the inner workings of Wakanda,
Yeah.
it changed to where he not only rejects the Black Panther, he rejects everything in Wakanda and leans a little more towards his origin in the comics to where he adopts the mantle of man-ape or the white gorilla.
Yeah, the white gorilla. Yeah.
And then you slowly start to turn him into a villain. More of not like the bad guy villain, but to more of a villain in a way of Killmonger, where you understand his motives. Like Wakanda,
Right.
the outside world can easily
Like what Scarlet Witch is going to be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Look,
Okay,
yeah.
let's not go.
Aaron,
Let's
what
not
else
go
you
down
got?
a
Like I
rabbit hole.
said, this can look. That's where the writers can easily retool this stuff. Yeah, this is just the
We
theory.
shall see.
Hey, I just think we made a pretty good sequel right now.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
If not,
'Cause then you
M'Baku
got
have,
Maybe Electro will show up.
stop it. Now you
You
just
think
being a
Electro will show up?
now you just being a goofball.
Don't you
Yeah.
know?
Get him out of here and get
Become the
thank
light
you,
of
chicken
Candy.
Buddha. Give him
Jamie
that
Foxx
boot.
is the new king of Wakanda.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
Jamie Foxx rules.
All
it.
right, so I'm gonna use
Let's
that
move on.
opportunity to
Let's move
segue.
on.
the previous
Just
stuff. Marvel. Yeah.
I'm going to segue into something that doesn't have deep lore. All right, so we talked about in that discussion. This is a good segue. We talked about in that overall Marvel discussion briefly about the Disney Plus launching, and as Chris mentioned in the comments, Soul is releasing on Disney Plus on Christmas Day, so that is their direct competition with Wonder Woman. If I'm being honest, I'm actually more interested in Soul than I am Wonder Woman, but that's a whole different thing. But so
Get him out of here.
There
Kevin.
I'm sorry, Cheetah looks like shit. But yeah, I'm more excited for that too. Speaking of
Cheetah
Jamie
does look like
Foxx.
shit, yeah.
I'm definitely more excited for Soul.
No one says a bad thing about Kristen Wiig.
I'm a little.
I mean, I am excited for Sheeta, like the way they have her designed and stuff. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be a lot cooler than people expect. But
I do too. Honestly, I do too.
I'm still more excited for Soul than Wonder Woman, though.
Me too, but I'll probably see Wonder Woman.
Soul is going to make me cry a lot, and I want to have a good time. So I want to see Wonder Woman flying through the air, riding some lightning, and listening to AC/DC. That's what I want.
I don't know, man. I love being sad, so Soul has me.
Okay. All right. So that being the point with standing, streaming is a very interesting thing, especially with the major market in theaters of the US being handled the way it is. It looks like the COVID-19 situation is going to definitely bleed over into next year. And reports have come out that apparently Disney is looking at turning some more of its theatrical films that are to be released next year and in the coming years after to Disney Plus, but it may not be exactly where you think it would go. This year, most of Disney's major blockbusters have gone to, or previously set to be released major blockbusters have gone to Disney Plus. Onward received an early release after flopping in theaters, and films like Artemis Fowl, Hamilton, The One and Only Ivan, and Mulan have since gone to Disney Plus to varying degrees of success. It is now being reported that apparently multiple of the upcoming live-action remakes, including Craig Gillespie's Cruella, Robert Zemeckis' Pinocchio, and David Lowery's Peter Pan and Wendy, are being looked at moving a possible move to Disney Plus, although they have said there is no final decision to have been made on it. The decision behind this would be with the continuing dragging on of the COVID-19 situation.
So confused.
Sorry.
Well, they lost a shit ton of money with Mulan. They had to.
I was going to say, with the continuing dragging on of the COVID-19 situation and the building list of blockbusters and the building list of blockbusters that are set to be released over the next year amongst all studios, Disney is concerned that they hold too many to all put them in theaters and have them all.
That's fair, because they'll end up competing with themselves even if they do get to release like 2 a month. That's still competing with yourself.
To give you an idea of what they have coming up, just some of the films that are on the calendar over the course of next year include The King's Man, the Pixar film Raya and the Last Dragon, the upcoming Bob Burgers adaptation, Black Widow, Cruella, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Jungle Cruise, Ridley Scott's The Last Duel, Eternals, and West Side Story, among others.
Alan, what do you got?
I'll wait till he's done. Go ahead. Keep going.
They have a very packed calendar coming up, and that's going into other years as well. And so essentially what Disney is looking at is taking the live-action remakes that they're producing and sending more of them to Disney Plus, where in terms of actual views, they seem to be doing better. Mulan being the exception with the premium pay, but that's something they've discussed as a one-time thing, and they're probably not going to go to it again.
As long as you only watch Disney Plus, they're happy.
With those specific films, and I think I heard somebody say, "What's Cruella?" So I can answer that in a second.
It's the Emma Stone Cruella DeVille reboot, right?
Yes. So what do you guys think, Alan?
The Shang-Chi thing, I gives 2 craps about any of that. Nothing to do with it. I don't care about anything about it. It can go fleshy.
It's gonna make a lot of money, though.
Why?
It's basically an Iron Man sequel.
Now, I will say this. I thought the same thing about other Marvel properties that I've come to love very much. But this one, I'm having a lot of doubts. Unless they're Black Panther. I have to say, though,
I
love the character of Black Panther.
I know a lot of people back in the day that heard Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were like, I have no idea what Guardians of the Galaxy means. That means nothing to me. I will never see that movie. And now, of
But
course,
who is Shang-Chi? Who's the actor?
He's the master of kung fu.
See, the actor.
I know who he is, but who's the actor?
right, and then the Ten Rings is obviously the group that kidnapped Tony Stark.
Okay, did anybody watch the whole miniseries of Iron Fist? Anyone?
Yes,
Anyone?
I did.
No.
Hold on, I would
And
just like
stayed
to
awake.
point out.
I couldn't
Yes.
get through that.
Jessica
Couldn't
Henwick
get through
is
that shit.
bomb.
Oh, I made a
She's
mistake.
fine,
Yeah,
but that's it.
she's fine.
She's the immortal
I
Iron.
made a mistake. I made
No.
a dreadful mistake.
I
What?
watched
your
it for the
mistake?
plot. The plot is her.
I mentioned one thing about Marvel in a non-Marvel story, and we found a way to delve into
And we
the
found to go
Marvel.
back to Marvel. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Cruella, Emma Stone. I like Emma Stone, so let's go.
Mm.
She just can't play an Asian lady
She's
anymore.
already been
Let's go.
successful in a
Yeah,
remake.
don't be
so why-
Hawaiian, Emma.
like
Don't do
hell,
that.
I would ride that like literally and figuratively until the well was dry. Like
What now?
What are we talking about?
she's
What?
already been successful in a remake.
True.
What remake was Emma Stone in?
Oh wait, hold on.
Amazing Spider-Man.
No,
That one?
Reboot, honestly.
I thought you were talking about a different. I thought you were talking about a different person. I didn't hear you say what
Ah.
you said. So
Never mind. This is the way. Wow. I think the Disney live actions. I've never liked any of them, to be honest with you, except for Cinderella. I do think Cinderella's pretty good. But I think it's better to put those directly to Disney Plus, because why not? I mean, if people are scared about going to theaters,
If you're not going to
honestly,
get the
you don't want
billion-dollar
to.
numbers, there's no point.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to take too many risks, and if you can make those for relatively cheap, then you get the payoff back when you put it on Disney Plus. Just keep putting them on there, because then I have the option to not care about it.
Here's
Yeah, so-
something that you guys
Yeah,
aren't putting
exactly.
into consideration, though. Disney is one of the more financially successful companies out there. You have their theme parks. Their quarterly results came in for most recent one they put out, and they lost $7 billion. Disney is going to make a virus. They're going to make a cure.
They
They're gonna make
could
a
have
vaccine.
made
They're
the
making a
virus.
vaccine.
Yes.
They're going to make a vaccine. for the virus.
conspiracy.
It's coming out next year. Everybody's going to have to get it. That way, everybody can
I
go
thought
back
Alex
to those
Jones
things.
wasn't on the show.
Conspiracy.
Before the vaccine.
Conspiracy.
Against prevent
So-
COVID-19 vaccine.
Disney
virus.
is making
It'll come down, and
COVID
it'll bring it down.
virus.
What you don't understand is they put it in the chemtrails.
hold on.
Disney
Disney
is
has
making the
stuffed
COVID
ballot
virus.
boxes.
You're making
Vote
gay
for Joe Biden.
frogs.
Theater and watch
Guys, no
all
one
of
can
the
understand a thing any of you are saying.
All right. I'm gonna dip out anyway. I will talk to you guys later, though.
movies.
Okay,
The Alex
all right,
Jones
see you
later.
Disney,
Watch the
vaccine
lizard
thing
people.
was Pretty crazy.
Don't touch the frogs.
All right, so here.
I didn't know I could do that so well. I'm pretty happy about that.
Let me pitch it. Let me pitch it to you guys in this way, right? So let's talk about the specific three. So the specific
Aw.
three mentioned in the article are Craig Gillespie's Cruella, Robert Zemeckis' Pinocchio, and David Lowery's Peter Pan and Wendy. Right. So
Mike
I
Lowry?
heard the entire time.
That's
David
a crossover.
Mike
Oh, sorry, David
Lowry.
David Lowry. Okay.
David Lowery, who's already actually made a remake for them. He made the
Yeah.
Pete's Dragon film.
Which is good. I
Um,
liked it.
I actually liked the Peach Dragon film.
Made
Yeah,
me hate
I
humans.
like
Here we
that
go.
one. It's pretty good.
So the way that I want to pitch this is when we look, because I'm going to read off some of their slate. When we look at the slate that they already have, what do we think about those three being the ones they pick to move over? Because other films that are in production to go to theaters include Rob Marshall's Little Mermaid, Jon Favreau's Jungle Book 2, Barry Jenkins's Lion King 2, and Mark Webb's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I don't want to
They-
see any of those.
I
No,
want
me
to
either.
Barry
have-
Jenkins' take on Lion King.
Um,
I want to see
hold on,
that
hold on, hold
so
on.
fucking bad. His
I wasn't
God
finished.
movie.
Among others, now they also have, there's also others there, but I'm not going to go into them because there's not much other detail. But they also have films in production going that are meant to go to Disney Plus. They have Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, who directed 28 Weeks Later, his version of The Sword and the Stone, We also have
Ooh.
Carlos. We also have
That'd be
Carlos Lopez Estrada, who directed Blind Spotting, his version of
Spotting.
Robin Hood, and then we also have Lilo and Stitch in production for Disney
Oh
Plus.
no,
They just
So-
cast a local girl. They just cast a local girl for that.
Which is
Alan,
awesome.
are you in that movie?
I
He is
am
Twitch.
not.
They're using the
Well,
blue.
I'm
I'm
not in the family.
I'm gonna be friend. No, I'm not.
Can I
But
be Stick?
I
You can
want to
name me
be.
Blue.
Shit, I'll be
Disney
Leroy, the red one from the other movies. I'll be that guy, the one that makes
So you're in the
sandwiches or
sequel.
whatever.
So you're in the
I'll
sequel.
be- yeah, I'll be in the sequel.
Or you could
Um,
be the guy that cameoed in The Mandalorian, the crew member
The
that half his body got put in.
That's right. That
What,
was so
the-
great. The stage hand that we see in the show at the end of it.
Oh, I
That's
heard
gonna
about
be-
that.
Oh, it's
But yeah,
funny.
so I was gonna say, unless you guys just want to say fuck Disney and move on, do you guys have
Um,
any? Do you guys have any specific thought about, like, considering what other films they have going to Disney Plus into theater, those three being the ones they would shift? Because as I
yeah.
said,
It makes sense.
Cruella's already dated for next
Yeah.
year. And it's been in the works for a long
Been in
time.
for a while.
I thought
So,
that
I
was
think-
already going to
I
Disney
think the
Plus.
one I'm most interested in is The Sword and the Stone, only because Disney should have done that like they did with Peach Dragon,
Yeah.
a lesser known property that needs a remake.
Yeah.
Sword and the Stone is
No, it's
definitely
King
on that
Arthur.
list.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
to give you
But
an
I
idea.
mean, as far as their
People are
films,
aware of the cartoon of the animated
That's the
Sword of
Nicolas
the Stone,
Cage one.
because when people think of Disney animated, they always think of the ones from the Renaissance. They don't think of something like Peach Dragon,
No,
exactly, they don't think of those.
or not
that
even
sounds awesome.
not even even though people think of
Black
Snow White and
Cauldron.
Seven Dwarfs, is not as highly as revered as it was.
Exactly.
So to give you an idea of where The Sword and the Stone is going, since that's the one you pulled out, Alan, let me see
Yeah,
if this
yeah,
gets your interest. So the director, obviously, I said, is Juan Fresnadillo, who directed 28 Weeks Later. The writer behind it is Brian Cogman, who is a writer on Game of Thrones and the
Game of
upcoming
Thrones.
Lord of the Rings series.
Oh, see, I'm interested. Let's go. Let's do it. I would like. I'm interested in that again because
I like that.
it's a movie, because that movie is very, very dated. It's not exactly great. I remember it because when I was young, I watched it a lot, but that's the only reason. It didn't really grab me. The remakes, I'll take Aladdin. I thought Aladdin was atrocious and embarrassingly bad. I know, and I'm sorry, but it was so
Sorry, I
terrible.
had fun.
It was
It
wonderful.
was so
I
terrible.
loved it.
I really hated it. The only thing worth watching
it.
was Jasmine, because Naomi, what's her name? Wow.
Naomi Scott. Great.
She won really lady, but that was it. The rest of it was just atrocious.
Which, to be fair,
and-
since it's in front of me, Aladdin is apparently one of the ones that I didn't bring up. So there is a sequel for Aladdin in the works,
God,
but
no.
they've
Just about
switched out the
Jasmine.
creative team. So Guy Ritchie is not coming back as director, at least as of
Good.
now. And the writers have been switched out for John Gattens, who wrote Flight, and Andrea Berloff, who wrote Straight Outta Compton.
Straight out of Compton. That's
Interesting.
I just don't think they need it. Why do it? I mean, they don't need it. They're
They
not
need
going
$1
to do
billion.
Return of Jafar.
So
need
it's
$1 billion.
better than retreading it though, because at least this time maybe they'll make an original story.
I probably
No, they can
shouldn't say
retread
this.
Return of the Jafar.
Yeah. You can retread Return, but I don't think they're gonna do that because that sucks.
I hope
I
not.
probably
It does
shouldn't
suck.
say this, guys. I probably
So
shouldn't
say it.
say this. I was
What are you gonna
waiting
say?
for people to finish. I have been in talks for about a year with Disney, and I am directing Aladdin too. Here's the
Give us the
thing.
plot.
So, it's just Jasmine.
Yes.
Only-
And she's singing
Take it.
Speechless the entire movie.
She's
yeah,
taking
no,
a bath.
Not that.
Keep going.
Yeah. So Disney
How dare you.
rejected my R-rated movie where it's just naked Jasmine the entire time.
I like it.
And
she's
I agree
stuck
that
in
it
an
wouldn't fit the
hourglass.
Disney Plus.
She's stuck in an hourglass.
It
and she
wouldn't
is an
fit
hourglass.
Disney Plus. But everybody in the movie is going to be Jasmine. Every single person. You have Ana de Armas or whatever. She's going to be in the corner, staying over there, so we get her too for one moment. That way, it could be more than one person. But
Okay.
everybody's face is going to be Naomi Scott.
I like it.
All it's
I
gonna
like
be.
it a lot. That
And
works
it's
for
going to
me.
be figuring out who is the most attractive between them all.
Of all the
Super
characters.
misogynistic.
Everybody's
get
blue.
that.
Except
No,
for-
no. No one's
Jasmine-
blue.
Only
Jasmine is not blue.
It's all Naomi
Okay.
Scott's.
Jasmine is
What
a
about Jamie
perfect,
Foxx?
I'm
perfect,
the director.
perfect shade of gorgeousness. Is what she
Nobody else
Is
is in
Jamie Foxx still blue?
it.
Jamie
Jamie
Foxx
Foxx
is not
is
in
the
the
new
movie.
genie. Jamie
No.
Foxx is the new genie. See,
What?
here's
He's
not
a
helping you
concept
direct?
right here. He's gonna look
That's
kind of
not
like Electro.
Yeah, there you go.
But here's the thing: he's in one scene, and Naomi Scott's going to kill him off.
Yes.
Does
I
he
like
say,
it.
"Don't you know I'm Electro"?
Like
He makes it into
says,
a song. Don't
right
you
before he
know
dies.
I'm
right before he
Electro?
dies. In that one scene, he says, "It's
Oh,
time to light my
gosh.
birthday candles." She says, "Oh no, it's
Happy
a
birthday,
terrible,
Max.
terrible line from Amazing Spider-Man 2. We have to end this
Oh
now."
my God.
And
Okay.
then,
All right.
we'll be
I'm
on.
gonna-
All right,
I'm gonna
let's
need
move
to
on. Let's
again
roll.
move
Let's
on.
roll.
Before we get
Let's roll.
arrested.
Lego
Uh,
Star Wars special,
Before I'm
guys.
accused of being a misogynist.
That's not where I was gonna go, but if you want, I can zone out. I guess. Go ahead.
Okay, so you saw this, Josh.
I
Yes,
saw
we
it.
put
Josh
the
saw the
kids
Lego
theme.
Star Wars holiday special.
Oh,
What'd
so
you
he
think of
does
that?
have a name.
He thought it was cool. Josh, into the microphone, please.
I thought it was pretty cool because there's like at one point 2 Darth Vaders.
Yeah. You had
Oh,
Darth
that was a great
Vader,
scene.
like
That
Darth
was a
Vader.
great scene.
You had
Know
Anakin with Anakin. You had 3 Obi-Wans going hello there. There are
Yep.
so many sound bites that I'm going to have to grab from that Lego Star Wars
It
holiday
is
special.
pretty entertaining. I have to admit, I enjoyed the
And
hell out
Rose
of it.
Tico had more screen time than she did. In
Yes, she
Rise
did.
of Skywalker.
Than both the movies.
And here's the most controversial part, guys. Most controversial part.
Uh-oh.
Chewie shows up with his family. They're on Kashyyyk. It's Life
Yep.
Day. He shows up with Mala, with Lumpy, with his perverted father.
Yep.
And then Maz walks in. Where is my boyfriend? And then her and Chewie just go at it in
They
front of
go
Maz.
at it. They make
Yeah.
it little Wookiees. It is no
No.
joke. She
They are
jumps on him.
top
He
of each
jumps
other.
on
They are
her.
going
And they're
at it
rolling
in front
around
of
on the
Mala.
table.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mala's just sitting there playing hollow chess like, oh,
Okay. That's
Okay.
fine.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Is Mala his sister now? Like, I'm concerned for
Who
Mala.
knows?
Is Mala okay with this? Does
Hey.
Mala have a plane on the side too? That's like
I will
1,000 years
give
old?
a lot of love because they kind of did Finn dirty a little bit. But Poe, those sweaters, I loved it. Every scene
That's
he had
a
a
real
different
sweater.
sweater.
No,
I
that's a
loved
real
it.
sweater in our universe.
It was pretty fantastic. It was pretty
Yeah.
fun. I liked it a lot.
Oh, and the 2 Hans shooting at the same time. That's good. But another thing, why is Greedo alive?
Like that,
and I
so
know
he
it's a
could
time
say
travel movie.
McClunkin or what McClunky.
Yeah,
That's
he
the only
says
reason he was
McClunky,
there.
so it's him. But
That's
the
it.
best joke in the movie, Max Rebo. What about? I thought you were the Max Rebo 8. And then it's like you don't understand what he's saying, but you know he's saying they all blew up on
They all
Jabba's sail
blew up on
barge.
Jabba's sail barge.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Yeah,
It was so funny.
yeah, Max Rebo.
Oh,
7.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
really
supposed to
liked
be
it
Max
a lot.
Weinberg. I just understood that. That's Conan's band.
That's Conan's band.
Yeah.
It's really fun and clever, and they do the time travel thing in a
Yeah.
fun, clever way.
And
All
if
I
they
need
took it
is more
seriously,
Lego
it wouldn't make a
Emperor
bad
in my
sequel.
life because he's great.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
some of this being canon.
I'm okay with some of it being canon. of
Like
course.
Finn with the lightsaber. Every time Finn has a lightsaber, I'm like,
Bruh.
yes.
Yeah, Finn with the yellow lightsaber with Rey's lightsaber
Yes.
because I wanted more of that lightsaber. So yes,
Why did
it's
you
a
bury
lot of
those
fun.
2? Like God, you
She had
distribute.
to. Come on
please.
now.
Put Anakin's lightsaber in sand.
You put him in sand. He hated sand.
Look, here's
That's
how I
why.
see it. Here's how I see
Bury
it.
those 3 movies.
Here's how I see it. If everybody that goes to Galaxy's Edge is a kind of canon, because going to Disney World, going to Star Wars Land, going to Galaxy's Edge, that's technically canon.
Canon.
So
I'm
it
so
all
tired
can
of
be
that
in
too.
Star Wars.
Stop
If
trying
that
to
can be
force that
canon-
2 on me.
If that can be canon, I will force it on you, man.
No.
I'll grab my lightsaber. I'll grab my lightsaber.
Oh yeah, grab the
if-
lightsaber.
Oh yeah, I'll grab it. All right, light
Mm.
that thing up.
Okay.
Firework. But if we can be canon in Star Wars, that stuff can be canon in Star Wars. Because
All right.
technically, if I watch it, that means it's canon
No,
because
that
anybody
means-
watches a
no, no,
kind
you're
of
not.
canon in Star Wars.
No.
All right.
And that's why
Okay,
Time
I
to
gotta
get
ask you guys a
going.
question. I'm seeing toys at the store. Okay, I'm seeing the Galaxy's Edge.
They're called
I'm
Legos.
seeing a little. No, this is the Black Series, the
Yeah.
figures,
Yeah.
and there's this little R5 looking guy with teeth. What the hell is that about?
Chopper?
It's painted on teeth. No, it's not Chopper. It's
Oh, is it Christmas
RD5,
themed?
whatever his name is. and he's got teeth that look like they've been drawn in.
Oh, I don't know. I guess
He
they
wants to eat
Pull
saw.
it up,
clown.
Aaron. Try to pull it up.
He
It's the
wants to
droid that looks like the droid that blew the gasket during New Hope, or I'm sorry, regular Star Wars, and they went with R2D2. So RD52. What Ryan? What's that droid's name?
R5D4.
That R5D4. It looks
Yeah.
like him, but it's got teeth that looks like somebody drew it on him.
I don't know. Maybe somebody
And
just
I-
opened the box and then drew on it.
Oh no, all of them look like that. And I wanted to buy it, but it was $30, and I ain't paying $30 on
Oh,
a
those
droid. I
Black
don't know.
Series.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're gonna pop out the. Yeah. Sorry.
Well,
The kid's needs a nap. Is that what's up?
Well, it's like almost 12 o'clock here, so it's like bedtime.
Oh,
We
that's
gotta
right. You
do
and
some
12 o'clock playing.
responsibility stuff. So,
All right,
thank you
Get
for
outta
having us
here.
on as always.
R5P8.
I found
you
it.
found
Oh,
him.
Devin actually found
R-
something, so we'll
right,
let him give this.
R5P8, Devin. We found the same thing.
R5P8.
Why does it have teeth?
Yeah,
No,
why does it have teeth?
That's
What
the
is it?
big yellow.
It was in a comic book or something.
toy? That's the name of the toy, R5D8.
Yeah.
R5P8.
Oh, P8.
Okay, so I can tell you what this
Oh.
is. I can tell you what this is now that I see it.
What is
So you know
Yeah.
how it's something they've been incorporating into the newer material. You know how in like World War II they would draw on the front of like the fighter jets?
Yeah.
So what this is somebody drew on their starfighter and then they drew on the droid too. So that's
Oh,
what
got
that
it.
is. I don't know what it's from, but that's what it
Yes.
is. It's that type
It's
of like
Hondo.
airplane art that
Hondo Onaka's
they haven't.
R
Hondo
R5.
Onakas, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Who that is?
no.
Who that is?
Yeah, the Hondo.
Oh,
He was in the Clone Wars.
The Hondo, Antonio Banderas in space.
He's a droid with a blaster
Sure.
pistol mounted on his head.
oh
Okay,
what?
guys.
All right. See you later, brother.
I'll see you guys
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, so the reason that you're seeing him advertised now that I know what it is, the reason you're
Mhm.
seeing him advertised with the because you brought it up about the Galaxy's Edge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason he's being
Because it has that label under it.
the reason he's being advertised with Galaxy's Edge is because the ride, one of the main ride,
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, has a intro bit with Hondo in it, and the droid is featured with him. That's why.
Yeah.
There. Okay. Thank you, because that makes more sense now. Because they've
That's
been
where the
doing a lot of
connection
they've been doing a lot of custom. I know they do custom droids there, right?
Yeah.
You could do the Spiro type droids, but custom.
For $100.
That's actually not too bad. And those little droids, I've got all of them. Even the Dio one. And I actually enjoy playing with those. They're lots of fun. Here's my BB-8 one right here. He's right here.
So I'll address this just because you put it in. Chris, we're not talking about Mandalorian on this show for the reason that's something we'll be doing in a separate video. Some of the guys want to get together and do something for it. So when we have more on that, we'll release it.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it's something that's being planned for somewhere else. That's why we're not talking about it. So if you
And-
guys still have time, if you want to talk about one or two more topics, then we can get out of here. I'll pull up this one because I found it very interesting. As reported by Deadline earlier this week, it was confirmed that Disney and Fox are moving forward with Predator 5, with 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dan Trachtenberg being hired as director, and writer Patrick Ason being hired to write the script. Ason's most recent projects included working on the Jack Ryan Show and the James Bourne spin-off Treadstone.
No, I did hear about that news. Honestly, I laughed my ass off when I read it.
I really hated Shane Black's recent one.
Yeah.
I really hated it a lot. So anything they do, as long as it's getting back to the spirit of the first one, and because Predators was fine, but that was about it. I mean, Predator 2 is okay, but
Yeah, and
Shane Black, who's a really well-known writer who wrote some great properties like Lethal Weapon,
Mhm.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and other properties. The fact that he takes a property of the Predator that he was a part of, and he
Mhm.
turns it into a B movie.
a
And
terrible one,
Rodriguez's version of Predators was better than his.
right?
That really tells you how disconnected you were from this property.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Even the thinking about that movie is so stupid. A predator goes after a young boy with autism because he thinks he's the next stage in evolution. Okay, I get the fact you don't want to side, you don't want to look down on people with disabilities, but you could have really written better ways around than having a predator kidnap a child than just like, oh, he's the next stage of evolution because of his autism, because he's able to, because he's more sensitive, he's more highly alert, he's more highly intelligent. Really, oh god, that was just badly interpreted.
Well, okay, so
that, sir. And there was a dog. And there was a dog.
I was gonna
Predator
say,
dog.
I agree with you in that I did not think that movie was very good. What has me excited about this one is Dan Trachtenberg, because I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was brilliant.
I liked it a lot too.
Since then, I have not seen anything that he's followed up with since. But since that movie, he hasn't directed a film, but he directed an episode of Black Mirror, and he's also been an executive He's also been an executive producer and directed the original pilot of The Boys. So if you're, and he's been involved. So I after that first episode, I don't know how deeply he's been involved, but he did direct the pilot. And that got rave reviews. So he is what interests me. Also, Patrick Ason, writing for Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I've heard that's a very good series. So that's some decent.
Pretty good.
I watched the first season. It was very good, very well.
The first season was good.
The second season.
Yeah, and he was involved. He was only involved with the first season, not the second season.
Well, then that's interesting. Yeah, as long as they get back to a more what the Predator should be, a scary, man is pushed to the edge kind of thing. I'm down.
Honestly, the fact that this was an alien, but whose race saw themselves in order to prove themselves, they would go onto different worlds and hunt the most dangerous predator, the most dangerous prey, to challenge them. And the fact they did it for sport was even more intimidating, because then could not be reasoned with. You could not buy them off. It's pretty much, unless you provide a challenge to them. That's why that's what make these creatures very intriguing, but at the same time dangerous.
And so I was gonna say, because I'll start to transition over. So the only thing that's been, if you want to say something first, my bad. The only thing that's been confirmed by both Trachtenberg and the writer and the studio is that it will be they have confirmed it is going in a new direction. They will not be picking up off of anything from Shane Black's film, and the cast will not be returning. It's a completely new project, but it is not a reboot in the same sense of how. In the same sense of how, like, The Predator was still in the same universe as the other 4 films, this is being treated as Predator 5, not a brand new universe. But it's a completely unrelated story.
I read you. Yeah. I like
that. How about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
How about Black Panther 2? Here's your plot. Shuri versus a Predator. Done. Here we go. That's it.
Bring them both
Close
together.
it. Good night.
That would make sense for Predator to go to Wakanda because it has advanced technology. And what better way for Predator to upgrade its arsenal than with some vibranium technology?
Exactly. I love it.
It makes it even lighter, and the fact that vibranium absorbs sound makes it even more deadlier.
See, the little clicking sounds. Oh man, you wouldn't even be able to hear it till it's too late. Oh, I love it. Let's go.
So to transition, and Chris just brought it up. So this green light of Predator 5 is a part of a string of Disney has now taken in Fox, and we're seeing that there was a kind of a wonder if they were going to really touch any of the franchises Fox had under its banner, because, or as I should say now, 20th Century Studios, because they're so different from what Disney usually does, but they've taken it on full force. They've greenlit Predator 5. Yeah. There is a word of nothing official, but there's word of support behind possibly continuing Alita still at this point. Yeah. We've also seen
Aliens gonna happen too.
Continue Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
I was getting there. So they've talked about Aliens. They've talked about a couple different franchises. Planet of the Apes is getting a continuation as well. But the big one that was announced this week is it is confirmed that Deadpool 3 is going forward. It was announced that writers Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Loughlin, I apologize if I mispronounced those, will be co-writing Deadpool 3, replacing Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who wrote the first two films. The Molyneux sisters' big claim to fame is working on the show Bob's Burgers, which also has a film coming out next year. This is not the first film project they've picked up in the last couple of weeks. They also are working on an adaptation of a book called The People We Hate at the Wedding, and they were also recently hired on by Sony to write the new female-centric 21 Jump Street spinoff, Jump Street, Now for Her Pleasure. So they're picking up steam in Hollywood in terms of the projects they're getting to work on. It is currently unknown if Ryan Reynolds will take a part in writing the film. He did not write the first one technically, but he did have a credit on writing for the second one, and it is unknown how much collaboration there will be, but he is confirmed to be back as both producer and actor for this film, as he was on the first two. There's also, it's been confirmed by the studio that while they are not opposed to Deadpool 2 director David Leitch returning, his schedule right now is looking a little too busy with upcoming films to take on the film in the window they want to film, so they will be looking in new directions for a director unless Leitch's schedule frees up in some way, shape, or form. With that being said, what do you guys think of Deadpool 3 officially moving forward? R-rated, new writers, new director, same Deadpool.
I like it. I hope to get a new director because I seem to be one of the few that wasn't the biggest fan of the second one because it felt very similar to the first. Pretty much the same beat by beat.
Same thing, yeah.
Not terrible in any sense of the word, but not anywhere near the first one, I thought.
I haven't revisited it at all.
Yeah, I saw it twice because I thought maybe the first time I was like, maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I was too excited for it. And then I saw it again. I was like, end credit scene was great, but it's like, it's not great. So I hope to get a different director. I think
if they get a new director.
I want like a Barry Jenkins. I want somebody who is familiar with the comedy world, but maybe
well, the thing with Deadpool, unfortunately,
Lord Chris Miller would be fun. I don't think they would come back because it's Disney, but bring them on. That'd be kind of cool. Edgar Wright.
He might be a little too far wide in terms of his sense.
With Edgar Wright in his movies, he has a certain, whether you love and hate his movies has a certain style. It has a certain message or a certain story to go through with it. I really don't think he's a good fit for Deadpool. I mean,
well, the thing you also have to think about is they're going ahead, similar as to how they brought in Tim Miller and David Leitch for the first two, who were more visual directors than they are necessarily involved with the story, and they let Reese and Wernick handle that. They now have a writing duo who have a lot of experience in writing comedic sensibility stuff, working on this. And so, which to me, honestly, the fact that they're working on it, they were put on a Jump Street film before being tapped to write this script, screams a lot of how they brought in like Reese and Wernick after they did Zombieland, another where like they've worked on a comedy that's established at that point, and now they're bringing them into this. They have to get a director who, like Edgar Wright, I think he could do a Deadpool film. The problem is Edgar Wright's Deadpool would be very similar to Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek, where it's got to be all me all the time. It's on me, which I think he's earned. I just don't think it would mix.
They should pull Taika Waititi.
Possibly.
That could be fun.
I mean, he could do it. I'd like his.
I know this would never happen. But I'll just dream of it happening. A Quentin Tarantino Deadpool movie. That would be awesome. Give me a Quentin Tarantino Deadpool.
No.
I think he'd be great for that.
I'm personally done with I'm personally done with Tarantino.
With Tarantino?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, I didn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at all.
It's not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's just rewatching certain films like Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, and of course with Django. As much as I enjoy them, him in general, no.
Right. I
get that.
I like him, but he is a little out there for sure with how he can act and whatnot. Um,
Oh,
The
yeah,
way he
exactly.
chooses to put himself in acting, I still.
yeah, I don't think he shouldn't be acting in anything.
No, he should not be acting.
No.
Just don't put him on any screen with black people, unfortunately, because he'll try to right away to say the N word at least 3 times.
At least 7. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
And
felt like
that's
it was a bit much in Django. However, I mean, I can see why he put it in there. Like that made more sense than like Pulp Fiction because it fit that time.
It's a period piece, and I get it. It's just with
It
Quentin
was
was
a
not
lot.
that person. But
It's the why. Yeah.
yeah.
It's the
Like,
why. Why would you even
Brown
want it? You
and-
know.
So I'm gonna hear that N word thrown out a lot. I just didn't need to
Yeah.
see Tarantino in that. I especially did not need to see him now rewatching Pulp Fiction. He really was not needed. That stupid.
Yeah, that was. I saw it again. I was like, oh my god. I
At
forgot
all,
about that.
He was just
At all.
there just so he can say that word, and just so it's like his character could have been his character had a right to be mad at Samuel L. Jackson for bringing a dead body. He just didn't have to go in. It's that dead N-word in my garage, and he has to and he has to lay it on thick too.
And he laid on. Yeah. I thought if you're trying to do some kind of character that would in that world say it, you don't use the ER. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you
is also a brown of dark skin color. So what the fuck are you throwing around that word?
right? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I was
I
gonna-
can never see a Tarantino again. I'm kind of all right. But as far as why has Ryan Reynolds ever wanted to direct? Has he ever directed anything? I mean, is that a possibility?
May have had his hand at directing something, maybe not a full length movie, but maybe somewhere along the lines of.
I would be curious to see it because he
I
obviously
mean,
knows
you know,
Deadpool.
yeah.
He would direct it, and you know.
I think he'd know his weaknesses
Deadpool.
if he needed to have a really good stunt director, choreographer direct the action scenes. If he can't do that, I don't see why he shouldn't dip his own toe and try to do that.
He has never directed anything. He has more and more over the years worked as both a producer and a writer on things, oftentimes uncredited in certain ways. But he has never directed. He has no experience in directing. Which again, considering all of Ryan Reynolds' best films are films where he is inadvertently kind of playing himself in that type of scenario. I think if he could work with other actors well in that sense, I think he has a shot at possibly doing it. I just think Deadpool 3 would be a very big film to try and land it with on a first go. So Chris mentioned, before we move on, Chris mentioned it, so I thought it's a decent comment to bring up. He said the Game Night directors, which would be Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley,
Goldstein and
who directed.
I think they could work. They could work because they can balance a bit of that crass humor and some violence. That we saw in Game Night. Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman were very well in that movie, along with Jesse Plemons and oh my god, it was it worked. The movie felt like it wasn't supposed to work, but I think for me it did work.
It did work.
It did.
I thought Kyle Chandler was great in it.
Kyle Chandler was awesome.
Yeah. The only
great.
only thing that would hold them up is because I looked them up quickly just so I could get their names right.
Yeah.
Apparently, they are working on an adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons, so that would be the only thing that would stop them from taking over Deadpool 3.
Oh my!
Wow!
I don't know if I'm interested in that.
Speaking of Deadpool 3, maybe Ryan Reynolds directing Deadpool 3 would be a great idea because another person that loved a certain property directed Dungeons and Dragons.
Fair enough. That guy also wasn't a film anything.
Wow. You know who I would be? This is kind of I think it could work. He's directed comic book movies before. What about Jon Favreau? Get him in.
Maybe.
I think right now
I'd rather him do that than any more Jungle Books or whatever the hell he's doing next.
Keep
him Mandalorian or Deadpool 3. I like that. That works.
Just don't let him do Deadpool 4 because he doesn't have a great
Lord
track record
Miller
doing a sequel to his own thing. Iron Man.
That's
Iron Man
true.
2.
Lord Miller's a great call too because he put it in there. Lord Miller cut from the same cloth as Goldstein and Francis Daley. They've worked together in the past, I believe, too. So that's not a bad call either.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say,
whoa, what's the Russos doing? Get the Russos on it, man.
They're working
Community.
on their film with Holland right now.
I mean,
Sure.
the
They're
Community has a
directing,
lot of that kind of crass humor and weird
True.
action sequences, you know?
But
Yeah.
one thing that's always been an issue with Deadpool, he is unfortunately a full fourth wall breaking character. And while
Yeah.
the Russos have shown they can handle meta humor very well with Community, there's the problem is that with Deadpool, you really need to find a very, very tight rope to walk along. Because let's be honest, first one worked because Deadpool was it was a mixture of a flashback and it was doing like a jump between the past and present storylines. Second one, that one fell apart a little bit in the fourth one because it was pretty much Deadpool was a death wish in a situation. The only time fourth wall worked was when he was interacting with Colossus or with oh my god,
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
no, Colossus and Domino. Sorry,
Domino. That's right, Domino.
So I was going to say
I like that character a lot.
before we wrap up the show, I have two quick stories that I think we could just have quick discussions about, and then we can kill it. So the first thing, because this kind of ties into the previous story a little bit, David Leitch is too busy to be directing Deadpool 3, but he is working on an upcoming action thriller that has just announced its full cast. The movie is called Bullet Train. It's being directed by David Leitch and is being produced by Antoine Fuqua. It's based on the manga Maria Beetle by Kotaro Isaka. And again, if I mispronounce that, I apologize. So the film, the logline for the film is 5 assassins find themselves on a Japanese bullet train, realizing that their individual assignments are not unrelated to the others. And there's some sort of crossover amongst them. The movie's full cast was announced earlier this week. Now, previously, we knew of 4 of the actors in the film. That is lead Brad Pitt, actress Joey King, actor Andrew Koji, who is making his American film debut in next year's Snake Eyes, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Now we have more actors added to the cast, including Deadpool 2's Zazie Beetz, Brian Tyree Henry, Michael Shannon, Masi Oka, Lady Gaga, and Logan Lerman.
If she do so well in A Star Is Born, I would have winced at Lady Gaga, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I hope she has something else coming up before it too. I want to see her.
And this
do
was
another thing,
announced alongside the announcement that filming had began on November 16th, so just last week. So what do you guys think of the concept of the film? What do you think of some of the cast members included? Have you been a fan of other stuff David Leitch has done? Maybe if you weren't big on Deadpool 2, maybe you liked John Wick, maybe you liked Atomic Blonde, maybe you liked Hobbs and Shaw.
I still haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw yet. I gotta check that out sometime.
It's not good. No, I love the cast. I think it's a really good cast. It sounds intriguing. But really with David Leitch, I love the first John Wick. Atomic Blonde I thought was all right. I liked the idea of it. I was very interested in seeing like another movie or a series that continued the story because I felt like you could have done something more with it. 2 or 3 great scenes in the movie that I love watching at times. But I wasn't into Deadpool 2. Not terrible, but it was a thing. And then I hated Hobbs and Shaw.
It was a retread that wasn't as good. That's the way that I'd put it. I think it's solid, but it was very retready.
True. It like there was good moments in it. Like Josh Brolin's great in it. Zazie Beetz, I thought she was great in it. Obviously Ryan Reynolds. The Brad Pitt cameo was awesome in it. But I was hoping for them to do a sequel that wasn't pretty much the same movie. That added like 1 or 2 more things to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, if he has a cast like this, I'm sure it's probably going to be good. I don't think you get that cast.
I believe, based on what I have confirmed, I believe 3 of the actors have been confirmed as the 5 assassins. That would be Brad Pitt, Joey King, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's not confirmed, but I would assume Andrew Koji is also an assassin based off the fact that he was announced earlier alongside them, and his one other film is him playing Storm Shadow in a G.I. Joe film. It would just kind of line up and make sense.
Right.
Yeah. And to give you an idea, so you guys know, Andrew Koji, he is just transitioning into actor, but prior to this, which is why he kind of lines up with David Leitch, he was a stuntman, most known for working on Justin Lin projects.
Okay.
So he's got a lot of experience with action in that sense. Yeah, I mean, I think this could be interesting. I like some of the members put in. I forget which one of the three of you mentioned Lady Gaga. I looked it up quickly. This is her first and only acting role she has been attached to since A Star Is Born. But yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. Michael Shannon is a very interesting pickup. I think Logan Lerman's really underrated. I think he's gotten screwed by being in some bad films, but I've never really, like, he's great in Fury.
He's across the board mostly Logan Lerman, because there are some projects he's in, like Fury, like 3:10 to Yuma, where he works very well. And then he's thrown in Perks of a Wallflower. He's fantastic in. And then he's into. Unfortunately, he gets settled into some small projects like the Percy Jackson series, the films that kind of fell apart before it even got a chance to leap. And then he's sometimes even a small side character in movies that you didn't realize existed. Logan Lerman, he's been able to skate by a lot. So
well, he was in that one show on Amazon about how the Hunters were the
with Pacino.
The Nazis, they kind of hit off after World War II and then are kind of just in the background. He's really good in that. And honestly, even his bad stuff, I think he's good in.
Yeah, like I didn't think Noah was great, but I thought he was fine in it. The Percy Jackson films aren't good at all, but he's not the problem with those films. No. Certainly, I mean, if we're doing, let's take the bad film and fix a lot of things in it, I think you'd recast a couple of those actors. The guy who plays Luke, that guy can't act for shit. But Logan Lerman was not the problem with those films. I think it's a really weirdly interesting cast. Chris, I saw you comment her name in the thing. The one that has me really weirdly interested is Joey King, only because basically all of her films over the last 7 years have been really shitty horror films or Netflix films. Yeah. So I think it's a weird transition that this is what she's going into.
There was this Hulu series she was on. I forget what it's called, but she played
The Act.
The Act, yeah. A daughter who believes that she's sick, but then learns that she isn't.
She isn't. I gotta bounce, guys. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Time for dinner.
Yeah. Okay, man. Hey, you have
aloha, guys. Good to see you, gents. See you later.
Later.
But yeah, you were saying. Sorry.
No. I was just trying to remember the show, The Act. Like, it's just more like Joey King. She has had a very small career because I remember seeing her in TV shows, like on supporting roles, and then seeing her in something like those small those one-off horror films. And then
she was in Slender Man. She was in Wish Upon.
She was
in Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, she was.
Yeah, she was one of the kids on the bus with Judd Hirsch.
Oh wow! I didn't even see that movie. I didn't know what you did.
And maybe it's the same show I'm thinking of, but wasn't she in a different show too? Not The Act, but a different show with the guy that's in Manchester by the Sea, Honey Boy, Lucas, whatever his name is. He's also in
Lucas Hedges.
Lucas Hedges. Is he also in The Act, or is that a completely different show I'm thinking of?
He's not in The Act.
Okay, yeah, because they were in a show together.
I mean,
it came out like a year or two ago, I think.
The Act, her boyfriend in The Act is an actor with red hair like Lucas Hedges. It's not Lucas Hedges.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. But
no. So here we can move on quickly because this last story is real short. I just kind of found it interesting because it's a movie I think could actually pick up some weird traction when it comes out. So we're talking about things moving from theaters to streaming. It was announced recently, I can't remember when though, that Coming to America, which was supposed to originally release in theaters, was bought by Amazon and is now going to be a Prime release on Amazon. But with that, originally when it was bought, it was keeping its Christmas Day release. It's now been confirmed that is being switched to a general spring 2021 release. So it is getting delayed into next year.
I think that's a good sign. good sign, honestly. It is.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested in this film. Eddie Murphy was one of those actors who was just meandering for years of his career.
Yeah.
But Dolomite Is My Name was one of the best films of last year, and Craig Brewer, who directed that, is directing this as well, and that's what has me excited because he's working with Brewer, I think now on like the Beverly Hills Cop fourth one, and clearly something about his relationship with Brewer is getting the best out of him and getting him excited to be in films again. And if this guy wants to keep working with Eddie Murphy, as long as they're making stuff on the level of Dolomite, perfectly fine by me.
Yeah, as long as they keep as long as the partnership is working out for both of them, then the fourth Beverly Hills Cop, then I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. And if the second Coming to America, yeah, I guess when it just comes down to it, when it comes to actor and director collaborations, if they're able to bring the best out of each other, or they're able to find great chemistry with each other, then and you see it translated into the movie, then the movie is just even that more enjoyable to watch. It's one of the reasons why when Spielberg and Tom Hanks collaborate for a film together, there's going to be something good. I mean, but then with Bridge of Spies, though, that was kind of like one of the least effective of their work, even though I did not mind Tom Hanks in that movie.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, if they're pushing it, let's say they're reshooting things or they're, touching up on it, then, that's the right decision to go with. You want it to be as good as possible. I just wanted to see it like in December. That was like the one thing I was going to watch the final episode of Mandalorian for season 2 and then watch Coming to America right after. That was, so, I mean, they have to be reshooting stuff then.
Maybe shoots, or maybe they're just gonna do some stuff in post-production. Honestly, maybe.
Yeah, there has to be something.
According to what I could find, filming wrapped as of November of last year. So it's been over a year since it wrapped. Part of it may have to do with Paramount, because apparently Paramount still holds partial distribution rights. Apparently they want to try and release it in international countries. So that may play into part of why they're holding it. Maybe they want to release it simultaneously. So if they want to put it in theaters in other countries, they want to hold it here until they do that. Yeah. Which it makes some sort of sense. It'd be smarter than like what Nickelodeon did with SpongeBob, let's say, where it's like in some countries it's going to go to Netflix. In some countries it's already been released in theaters. In America, it's going to be on fucking CBS All Access. And no one's going to watch it. So it's like, I don't know the reason. I can't find a stated reason. But so I was going to say, before we end the show, because that was the last thing I had, Chris keeps putting it in the comments. I could have sworn we talked about this, but if you want to quickly, we can talk like on one of the other shows like a couple weeks ago, but we can talk about it if you guys want to quickly. The rumor heavy going around that Mads Mikkelsen is the choice to replace Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts. I'll leave this up to you guys.
If I talk about it, I'll go on for a while. And, going into the Johnny Depp thing, I have strong feelings about that. So
I was going to say,
I'll leave that up to you guys.
I really appreciate that topic, dude. It's just,
it's hot.
I'm done after before the J.K. Rowling news came out, before her constant mouth started getting her in trouble, I was done with Fantastic Beasts after the second one because of how badly it was written and put together.
So bad.
The biggest problem was the fact that they brought back David Yates to direct both those films.
Honestly, I don't think Yates was the problem. I think it was her script. I think I don't know where the issue lies with how much of it lies with Yates. Some of it does. He's responsible for part of it.
I do put a lot on Yates because the first one. Because look, when he took over from the fifth Harry Potter, it was doing well. But then later on, David Yates started doing a very stupid trick that he loves doing, which is the constant close-ups in the camera, where the camera is about this close away from the actor's face while they're saying their lines. It wasn't that prominent in Fantastic Beasts, only in certain moments. It's not until Crimes of Grindelwald you see it's heavily abused in certain areas. And
Yeah,
I'm thinking to myself,
Okay, on a filmmaking level, yes, I'll agree with you there. Some of the shots were atrocious.
but even then, Yates' direction, like if he's collaborated on so many Harry Potter projects, he should be able, as a director, to be able to translate what Rowling has written in a script. Instead, I don't think he has, and it's one of the reasons.
And
Well,
see-
it's a mixture of bad writing, but I also do contribute him to it because
Yeah.
he's just not a strong director. Honestly,
Which that's one of the things that I find interesting, where like I actually would say I enjoy most of Yates's career in that I like all 4 of his Harry Potter films to varying degrees. I like the first Fantastic Beasts. My
Right.
problems with that are legitimately with the writing. But
Yeah.
I thought the only other film I can think of that he's made outside of a Harry Potter film is that Legend of Tarzan film with Alexander Skarsgård. I thought
Yeah.
that was atrocious personally. I was not a fan of that film.
It was whatever.
And honestly, I thought a lot of it was to do with his direction. Like I thought
Yeah.
Skarsgård was real in and out of it. Sam Jackson was himself. I don't know what Margot Robbie was doing with that accent,
Yeah.
but it sounded like she used that film as prep for Harley Quinn. Like it was so weird. All of it was just. And Christoph Waltz was Hans Landa in a Tarzan film. Like what was
and
the?
even in Hansu, I mean, normally when he's in a very small role, he sticks out, but even then, he looked like he was blending into the background.
Forgot he was in that movie till you said it. And he's usually memorable because he's memorable in Guardians. He's memorable in Furious 7. I love him in that film. It's
It's
just such a weird anomaly of a film.
It's just normally with a good director, even if in my mind, from what I've seen in my previous experience, a good director can bring out a lot in their actors, whether if they're the main feature or if they're a small role involved. If they do their part well and they do their job well, then guess what? The movie works very well. I mean, not everyone needs to have their own standout moments.
To me, what you're getting at, I would say the pinnacle example of what you're getting at is Jonathan Demme with Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter's in that movie for like 10 or 15 minutes, but he's what you fucking remember from that film. Because there's such a good performance coming out of it there. And there's millions of other examples of good acting mixed with good directing. I just feel like that's the easiest to go to because he's the thing that's remembered from that film. And when you people like who haven't thought about it in a long time, you tell them like he's not in it very long. When you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, he's not in it very long.
Nope.
Right. I mean,
Nikki joined back right as we're getting ready to log off, but I'll bring him in. Hi, Nikki.
But real quick though, before I was like against the third Fantastic Beast because I'm not seeing it at all. I don't care who you put in there. You have Jesus Christ in there. I'm not seeing it. They when they said that they were gonna have a new writer writing the script for the third one, that made me go okay because I do feel like I don't think Yates did a good job with the second one directing, but I think that J.K. Rowling was a major problem because it's her, property. She created it. It was like with the Fantastic Beast movies, it feels like she's like really like in control. She had pretty much all 5 movies down. It was like we're gonna do this, and then she changed the second one. It was just I think she was the issue for sure. But I was curious about the new writer. Now because I won't go into it, but because of the recasting stuff, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing anything AH is in from now on. That includes Aquaman 2. That includes Snyder Cut. Sorry. I'm just done. Okay, so
yeah, I was gonna say so. I will. Sorry, if you wanted to go ahead.
So I looked at the comments because you see the live comments pop up. There's like 3 people with the exact same profile picture. Let me go to the first one because you have this one, same profile, right? Then you go to that one.
I wanted to see if you guys were still on. But
And
are they still on?
I think it's all one account, just changing the name.
Maybe, yeah.
I was gonna see if you guys were still on. I'm like, hi, are you guys still here?
But yeah, so okay, so I have a lot of opinions on the Johnny Depp thing. I want to stay away from that.
I want to talk about it like on a different show, just not at the very end.
Yeah, I want to stay. I want to stay away from that right now. I think it's a good topic for a show, but I want to stay away from it for the moment. if I'm just addressing, okay, Johnny Depp, because so here's my approach to the franchise, right? The franchise at the end of the first one, and I think I've talked about this, the franchise killed my momentum going into the second film because on my own part, I didn't see the hint that they left that Credence was still alive. Like I just completely missed it. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, my two favorite things about this film were Ezra Miller and Colin Farrell. Ezra Miller's dead, and they've just flipped Colin Farrell for Johnny Depp. I don't care anymore. I still saw the second one, and surprisingly, I actually thought Johnny Depp was one of the better parts of that film. I thought he was surprisingly good as Grindelwald.
He was very tapered Johnny Depp, which surprised me. I guess what just threw me off with Johnny Depp was the fact the way his character looks.
Yeah, like, the blonde hair, the wispy mustache.
Yeah, I don't mind the blonde hair though. The way he looked in the beginning of Crimes of Grindelwald, that looked like that kind of would have worked for him. But then with the spiky blonde hair and the like broken apart goatee, mustache, and beard, like he doesn't need to look young, but he needs to look. Like he could have come off as if he looked a little deranged with the long hair and beard, though. Like he could have made that work.
Fair enough.
And I get a lot of people don't think.
Right, that's what he's going for in this one.
Is what?
He always like embodies a rock star every single time.
Yeah.
He does one of these caricature roles. This one, like,
yeah.
It's clear we both.
I think that played a part in it for sure.
Yeah, but so if we're just addressing it, take out. Yeah, everything. And if we're just addressing, okay, for reasons, Johnny Depp will not be in the third one. Which my favorite thing is there was like a comment that came out afterwards, which was basically like, so Johnny Depp technically wasn't fired because his contract was an optional pay or play. So he's actually still getting paid for this, even though he's not in the movie. You're just optioning not to use them, which I thought was funny. But if we're just talking straight up, okay, we're losing Johnny Depp. He will not be returning, but we got to sit through 3 more films of this crap. And the replacement we're getting is Mads Mikkelsen. Fair enough. I actually think it's a solid replacement. I like Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's been greatly underserved in the blockbusters he's been in so far. I liked his role in Rogue One. He was just not in it very much. I thought he was underserved by the writing in Doctor Strange. Caecilius was a fucking blank slate of a character with a good actor. He was, man. The only thing he had less personality than his eye makeup.
Like Mads in that role because of how like bad that character was.
Oh no, that I agree with you with. But
because Mads was who it was, it's like okay. I just have fun watching this guy.
So it's funny that I mentioned Jonathan Demme in Silence of the Lambs before. If we're looking at the guy who played Hannibal, and we're going, we need a new actor to take over the role of a mass genocidal wizard who is going to, and they've confirmed this, is going to incite a wizarding war that will take place during World War II, because that's where this franchise is headed, is to World War II.
Yeah,
it is.
You know what? Brass tacks, I'll take Mads Mikkelsen. I think it's a great replacement. I'm sad that Johnny Depp won't get to keep going because I really did think it was his best performance in a while, maybe since Black Mass. It's his best performance in a few years. But if we're going to have to replace him, and this is the reality that we're in, then I'm absolutely okay with Mads Mikkelsen. I honestly still think there's a world where if other cases go without going too deep, if other cases go Johnny Depp's way and this starts to look more positive for him, I mean, Disney got back in bed with James Gunn. I absolutely think Warner Brothers could get back in bed with Johnny Depp, and I think they could kiss and make up, and this could all move on and be great. Considering they're still going to pay him, I don't think Johnny Depp's all too salty as much as he can be for everything that's happened thus far. But if we're going to look at it at face value and say Mads Mikkelsen is the new Grindelwald, what do you think? I think it's great. I think he'll be a great acting partner for Jude Law. I think he'll be a great villain because we've already seen he can do it. I think it's a great choice. If we're going out of any of the options left, I'm glad that they would go in a more serious route than going with someone who's going to go cartoony with it.
I will say, if Mads takes over, the one thing I think he will give Grindelwald, which is something that Johnny Depp is well known for, but apparently just didn't bring into this character, sense of charm, a sense of charisma. As much as he brought Grindelwald as his character as a very stoic figure, every time he spoke, when he was doing that speech, I didn't feel any sense of connection to what he's doing. And look, I'm going to spill things here. When I remember a couple years before at Comic-Con, before this movie was released, Johnny Depp did the same thing.
Andrew Garfield.
Tom Hiddleston. No,
Tom
Hiddleston did at Comic-Con, appearing in full garb as his character. The difference between what Tom Hiddleston did and what Johnny Depp did was Johnny Depp did word for word his speech from Fantastic Beasts in this crowd. And watching that whole thing, that when he came in, it was a huge fanfare. People were screaming, people were clapping for him, and then he begins this whole thing. He's just up there giving performance. Tom Hiddleston, when he showed up as Loki on stage, he not only took in the moment, he milked the crowd.
Right.
He made you want to rewatch that clip over and over again because, like as his character Loki, he was basking in the moment and everybody bow before him before he did the whole "I am Loki, burdened by glorious purpose," and people could not stop but love that. And when he walked off stage or when he left, huge fanfare at the end. When Johnny Depp left after he did his speech, he got a round of applause, but the fanfare was gone. It was just more of like if Depp had just brought some charisma, some charm to Grindelwald, it could make sense in the movie why he's able to sway some wizards to his side, why he's able to sway Queenie. Because let's be honest,
that's fucking out of nowhere.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell can you say to her? What? Oh, if she joins him, she can be with Jacob. Guess what? Jacob's not down with this, so technically he lied to her, and she bought into it.
If you join me, you can fuck your fat man all you like. Basically,
everything you want.
But
everything you want. Guess what? Guess what? Jacob rejects everything you want, and because he says crazy, you walk away. Go fuck yourself. I mean, I'm sorry. That's terrible writing. Oh, crazy is her trigger word, but the fact that she can read other people's minds means that yeah.
And on that positive note, unless Matt, you had something else to add.
No, I was going to say about Mads. I'm sure Mads going to be great. You guys let me know if he's great in it, because I will not watch it.
Do you want me just to cut out the clips of just him and send it to you?
Kind of like what they did with the prequels on YouTube, where you just take out a bunch of things, just take a bunch of random Johnny Depp movies and throw it in there.
I'll do the what's it? The no. I was gonna say for you, what I'll do is so you don't have to watch the whole rest of the movie and support it. I'll do like how on Pornhub there's like the 20 minutes of sex scenes from 50 Shades. I'll just cut out just the mad scenes and send it to you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, he was pretty good.
Jesus Christ. Come on.
Good.
There we go. That's how you lighten the mood. Mention Pornhub. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show. For the guys at TMG Entertainment, my name is Aaron Knoll. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to being back with you next week and discussing lots of intense things like Johnny Depp's court case and Pornhub. See you next time. And broadcast.